on, I'm eating a cookie.
Oh, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good to be here. Look at us up early.
Look at us do it. This is an early, and it's my fault too because of a flight that I had to end up moving anyway.
Oh.
I moved a flight to go to L.A. and then my agent hit me up. He's like, "You ready for that for that benefit on Wednesday?" And I'm like, "Oh fuck."
Oh no.
So I had to move it anyway. So it's completely my fault.
Did you get the credit or did you lose money?
No, I'm staying for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes you move a flight.
Oh, yeah, that was fine.
All right.
It worked out. I think I booked it with Miles anyway.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Miles Davis.
Oh, not Miles. Fucking, what do you call it? Upgrades.
Oh.
Get those upgrades, man.
Wait. What do you mean?
I got the New York to LA upgrade.
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
huge.
Huge.
Biggest upgrade in the business.
So, man, these flights are terrible. No one's talking about American Airlines just being like the worst fucking. And I'm lucky so far I haven't gotten screwed, but I have a friend. She got stuck in Dallas for a day and a half.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. Yeah, they just don't do. I guess it was bad weather, but it's like it was fog.
Ah.
It's like a $30 million thing. You can't beat fog.
I got some fans out here.
It's like,
My dad used to call me a fug. But, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No one's been stuck in Dallas like that since JFK. All right. But, yeah, that sucks. These day and a halves are crazy. Like, I don't even like getting on a later flight because you throws your whole night off. You know, you have to skip sets and cancel shit. That's brutal.
where were you this weekend?
West Palm Beach and Fort Myers.
That's a rough one. Fort Myers is up there as one of the worst, I would say.
You think so?
I love West Palm.
West Palm was pretty great.
Great crowds. Fort Myers are just kind of like, it's like Naples light.
Yeah.
It's rough.
It's a little more like relaxy, kind of a small towny
Yeah.
than Naples. Naples feels like, white trash trying to be rich. This feels like
Naples is rich.
Oh, is it rich?
Naples is like definitely rich.
Oh, all right. I take it all back.
Yeah.
But West Palm was like, it was all Jews, and I made like a Israel joke, and they're like, yeah. I said if Hamas wanted to kill you guys, they could just come to this show because it was like all the tassels and the yarmulkes and the whole thing.
Be careful. They're listening to this pod. They're going to follow you on tour. This is dangerous. Yeah.
Well, hey, if anybody buys a ticket, come in. They'll be tunneling. But yeah, great show, great venue. But Fort Myers, I got to say, it felt small towny a little bit, but the crowd was hot as hell.
Wow, who the hell made that out? That's not my shirt. Someone's profiting off me in a baby blue. I like I should, these motherfuckers on the internet. That's my Naples design.
Damn.
Naples, Florida, worst place on earth. Yeah.
I've never been to Naples.
It's bad.
Really?
My wife booked a family vacation in August.
In Naples?
In Naples.
Well, I mean, the land, everyone's like, ooh, no, the land is fine.
The beach is fun.
I mean, it's not like the land is bad. It's the people that I have to perform for.
Right,
It's very like, yeah, it's not my scene. Like, I there's a lot of great cities in Florida. That ain't one of them.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was in Lexington, Kentucky. Great club. One of my faves. Great, just like the best workout room. Comedy
so fun.
off Broadway.
Love that room. Well, hidden gem.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Someone in the front row. She just holds up a bottle, and I'm like, oh no. And she goes, "This is for you." And she walks on stage and hands it to me.
Oh.
And I was like, is this a good bottle? And everyone's like, it's one of the best. They're cheering. It's a good bourbon. So of course, I'm trying to take it easy. I end up boozing all weekend.
You got to do it. It's good bourbon.
A good bourbon.
When in Rome.
Yeah.
Who were you with?
Anthony DeVito, our buddy.
Oh, nice.
Who's working on a one-man show. Check out In the City. He's working on a one-man show about his father who was whacked by the mob. It is incredible.
It's very good.
Anthony DeVito. It's like hilarious. It's also really funny. I'm hilarious and also really funny. Doing a great job pitching this. This is early for us.
It's a tearjerker.
It is a tearjerker.
It's emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well written. It's all true. It's real. The jokes are great, and the story is amazing.
It's amazing.
So check it out. But let me say this: Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock getting attacked on stage. You're getting people walking on stage giving you bourbon.
I know.
That's pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah, some guy, you see the guy get attacked on stage?
I did.
Like 2 days ago?
Yeah, it was another country. Where was it? Where was it?
Spain?
Portugal?
Yeah.
Yeah, he made a joke about the guy's baby, and the guy showed up.
Yeah.
He looked like a fucking lunatic.
That's one thing about touring is we cannot hide because we're literally posting where we're going to be.
Yeah.
Whoa, we got him a nice clock on the ear there.
Looks like he went open hand slap on him. Let's see if
that guy's huge too. The victim.
We'll probably get a commercial here. Sorry.
I love how we have to put everything is political. Far right wing, far left activist. Astonishing moment. Irate Spanish father punches comedian.
By the way, we could tell he was far right. I don't think the far left dude looks like that. Guy looks like a jacked thumb. Look at him.
He really does. That guy's huge.
Oh my God.
Oh, this is for the pedophile comments.
Not a great audience member, probably.
No.
This is for calling my son a pedophile. He is only a baby.
You killed my father.
Prepare to die.
Say it to my face.
Can't believe this happened to Reggie Watts. Holy shit.
But does this guy leave feeling like, here's a question, like, does he leave feeling good about himself? Like,
100%.
yeah?
Yeah, I
he
think
vindicated.
so. He's a dad.
Yeah.
He's pissed. The other guy's really in a corner there.
I guess I feel two things on this. For one, people will say fucking anything on the internet.
Yes.
And not stand behind it.
Yes.
And it's turned us into pieces of shit.
Oh, completely.
Like the comments you get now are just absurd. Like people like just talking shit, fighting words.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh, but if I saw you, you'd be a fucking coward.
Well, I don't know who made this comment. I think you probably do. They were saying the reason why this exists is because there are no physical consequences to insulting people anymore.
Mike
Colin
Tyson.
Quinn.
It was Colin Quinn.
Oh, sorry.
Quinn has a joke about that in his new special. But I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are if you're that committed to finding the guy on tour. But like you said, he probably bought a ticket.
Yeah. But I remember being a kid, I was at a house party in high school, and I called a guy a pothead. And he came at me. He, like, jumped on me and was swinging at me, and the guys pulled him off. And I was like, what? I just called you like weed. You're a pothead. He was like, don't fucking call me a pothead. And he went nuts. And that's nothing. Jeez. Imagine what people are saying on the internet, like, I hope your mom dies, you homo, nice fog, whatever.
Christ.
So, like... That was pretty normal when I was a kid. Was just like you said the wrong thing and a guy would attack you.
Yeah,
and we've completely lost that.
He attacked you over pothead?
I think I hit a nerve with something, but yeah, I was like, "Oh, you like weed? You're like a pothead." And he was like, "What?" I just hit the wrong button.
Clearly, he's not a pothead. Sounds like a belligerent lunatic.
He's a meth head or something, or bath salts.
What the hell?
But yeah, he went at me. But that was kind of normal. Like I felt like as a kid, it was always like. Who's going to hit me today?
Well, kids have a lot of rage. Mm-hmm. And it's misplaced, a lot of it, you know?
Yeah.
The kid who's getting, like, the shit kicked out of him at home, you know, then he's the angry kid.
Yes.
We talked about this on the last one. But it's like that movie Stand By Me where they're like, all right, there's always one.
Totally.
Some darkness.
I remember college. I went to LSU for a while, and there was Tigerland, which is where all the bars were. It was called Tigerland. And the fist fights I saw at this place were I'm talking guy on the floor getting kicked in the face by a boat shoe, a lot of yellow polo shirts and white hats that had, letters on. There it is, Tigerland. It's where but the fist fights were banana. I mean, it was crazy. Bottles breaking over heads. It was like Roadhouse.
I went to Bearland. I saw a boat shoe go up a guy's ass. It was terrible. One of the worst experiences.
Bearland.
Good line. Have a cookie.
Baltimore barreling.
Is this the oatmeal?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, motherfucker. What are you doing to me?
There we go.
Where do you get these?
Right on the corner. There's a coffee place that we go to. And they have this great homemade cookie.
That's a hell of a cookie.
This is the pedo. You looked like a pedophile before, but now you're tossing cookies.
Hey, giving out cookies? Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah. How about this comedy jersey?
I love it. You got the Paragon?
Yeah.
Shout out Paragon, New York institution, man.
Hell yeah.
They were such nice guys who ran it, too. The family was so cool. We did a comedy show there.
Yeah, the comedy Underground Overground.
They do pop-up shows, these guys, at, like, Katz's Deli. What was the one on, like, that building where people jump off?
Oh, the Edge building?
Edge?
Really?
On 34th Street, yeah. Building people jump off.
Maybe don't call it the Edge. It sounds like inviting for suicide.
Right.
We're going to kill yourself. The Edge.
Hey, cool. I did one at McSorley's last week.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a classic bar, too.
Great
Oldest bar in New York.
That's right. That or Ear Bar.
Ear Bar's awesome.
Great bar.
I remember Christian McLaughlin from Comedy Central took me to lunch there, and I like a native New Yorker, had never been there, and I was like, whoa, this place is fucking old school.
Oh, yeah. Apparently that's on Spring. Apparently Spring was like a strip back in the day. There was a strip club on the corner of Spring and Greenwich.
Yeah.
Ear bar. There's all kinds of stuff over there.
Here's Mark after bed set.
No strings though. No strings attached.
Damn, dude.
That's the place.
They had a show there?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was funny because it was on the like 100-something floor because that's, the whole thing is like, well, it's comedy, but with a view. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, anytime you add anything to comedy, it doesn't help.
Bad.
I remember our buddy John Pally used to run a show on Arlo and Esme.
Yep.
And it was called Buns and Puns. It was like this joke. There was nothing to do with puns. I think he just liked that name. But he would give out buns.
Yep.
And then he would give out Jell-O shots to the crowd. It was like nice that he put effort to the show.
He made all of them himself.
It was pretty incredible. But then the gimmick was buns. Like he thought it was funny to have aerobics, like 80s aerobics behind you on the screen. So while you're doing the sets, like women like doing this, and you're like, I love that you're going above and beyond, but this is not helping.
Yeah. Just book a decent act, and we'll all have a good time. But he filled it every night.
It was, I mean, there was a couple 4 or 6 people shows, but there were a few also that were like, and they were like stacked lineups.
Oh yeah,
day.
Vecchione was on, and all these guys.
Kumail would be on.
Yes,
it'd be like a lot of like at that time Hannibal.
Yeah,
guys who were like blowing up in New York at that time.
Was a guy doing like Brooklyn open mics. That show was a treat.
It was a treat.
You got drunk for free. You guys were there, and then an audience.
Yeah, it was fun. But but this show, we're on the 100th something floor, and they're like, you get a view, and then it's just one of those foggy days.
It was cloudy up there.
Cloudy, yeah.
You looked out the window.
American Airlines probably had a few flights on the ground.
Damn, this is, what this reminds me of is the Dubai just had a comedy festival.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Ian Lara. He's like, it was insane. Every show was great. Schultz did the arena and Chappelle was there. He did the arena the next night. I'm like, Dubai. Comedy has made it to Dubai? Like, the whole thing seems...
Oh, it's a huge city.
I guess, but it's... I don't know.
We have fans over there.
We do?
We've talked about this.
I don't know Dubai.
I get messages all the time from India.
By the way,
dad calls me
zero zero taxes in Dubai. Whatever you earn, you keep.
I like that.
Zero
What
taxes.
is it, Fort Myers?
How do they pay the roads?
I think they just use their fucking oil money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oil. That's the good stuff right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need some of that.
But he said it's 90% expats. So it's like doing a show in Cleveland.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing a Euro tour. You just did one. I mean, I'm expecting it to be mostly expats.
Yeah. Although,
and at least like the cities like Paris. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you get to Ireland, have you done Ireland before?
I did it with you.
Oh, but like your own show.
This time I'm doing. Yeah.
You're gonna fucking shit.
I'm pumped.
Are you doing Vicar?
I don't know.
Vicar, please. Where is that?
There you go.
Oh, you're doing. Oh, the Olympia Theater. Man, that might be even bigger.
I don't think so.
But Ireland, just the hottest crowds of all time. It's great.
I had so much fun when I was there with you, man.
That was a blast. We had the best crew of all time. I mean, we covered it with Quinn, but it was Quinn, DeStefano, Rachel, Nate Bargatze. I'm leaving. I think. Who am I leaving out?
Chrissy D.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you said that. Rachel, yeah. Sean Padden.
Oh, there you go. You know what's weird on those Ireland shows? I bombed my first one, and I had to. I realized like, I'm doing too much like of a set. I had to be in the room, and then I was on the next one. I was a little more riffy, and that worked.
It's interesting. You have to change up not your material, but your vibe.
Yes,
the way you present your material.
100%.
It's so true because I feel the same way. It's almost like some cities they want it to feel like more spontaneous.
Yeah.
Whereas for your crowd in like Cleveland, whatever, they're like, here's the jokes.
Yes.
They just want the jokes.
Exactly. I think that European, Britishy, Irishy, they're all funny. So they're like, you just coming up here and reciting your album. Anybody can do that. We got jokes too. You got to be you. So I had to learn that in real time.
Yeah, it feels like you care more about the show, I guess.
Yeah. Then I watched Tommy Tiernan.
Beast.
Killed.
Yeah.
Killed. Talk about in the room. He's like, look at this fucking bloke over here. Yeah, he's a fog. He went nuts. Good times.
I just realized we don't overlap on Bert's tour.
Oh,
I was so annoyed. I thought I got my
the
dates,
hell?
and I thought we were on. And I saw Mark. It's like you're there 2 nights before me.
Pull it up. I'm in Macon, Georgia, and I think Charleston.
I'm in Savannah.
Fully
No,
loaded.
it doesn't matter. I was just pumped that we were gonna like have a.
I
couple
thought
of
so
those.
too.
It would have been fun.
Yeah. So who are you with? Do you know?
It's a good crew, but it's just I thought it was us together, and I was kind of pumped.
Yeah, we can get boozed up out in the South. Oh yeah, that's my those first two are me, Macon and Charleston. I love Charleston.
It's a good time.
Where are you?
Savannah, and then two.
Damn, Savannah's awesome.
Yeah, I know.
How does it work? He's like, you're all on buses driving from city to city?
Yeah.
How many buses? What does it look like?
I think the comics, they have girl bus, they have a guy bus, and you're on it with Bert and Big J and Soder, and then
do you sleep at all?
I took Ambien.
Really?
Yeah, because I couldn't sleep. Oh,
shit.
Speaking of the short bus.
Of course.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, this fucking guy. Literally my peer. How many?
Jesus Christ. What are you doing, Lizzo's pod? This is crazy. Golly.
Our good buddy Gary Vider, who you guys have heard a million things about.
Whatever you want. No dress code here. I'm wearing a jersey.
He has a hot new special out right now on YouTube called Could Be Worse.
Yeah, get that microphone and look at that
there we
suit.
go.
That is a crisp.
I know. Tie was a little long, but
well, on you everything's.
I know.
What are you going to full Pee Wee Herman here? Huh?
You look like a ventriloquist dummy.
You're the one who dressed me.
I know. We went suit shopping together.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was a fun day.
Sam called all the shots. Oh yeah, these are taped up. Hold on.
Oh, what do you
Actually,
got?
no, this one's not taped.
You got baby proof?
Oh yeah. Look at that. So these are espresso brownies.
Oh!
The wife baked them.
Mamacita.
Baked last night. I'll open this crack.
Wow.
Sure, you were baked last night, you pothead.
Easy.
Easy.
Wait a minute.
I've
Your
calmed down on smoking. Yeah. All right. I haven't had.
Your wife
good.
made them?
Yeah, she made them.
I'm not a brownie guy. That's really
A
good.
good brownie. Espresso brownie.
Why do you keep saying espresso?
Espresso?
There we go.
All right. I'm retarded. What do you want?
Oh, yeah.
Oops, sorry, that's ramming.
What? This is such a good special. I hope you guys all watch it. I'm sure you've seen Mark and myself promoting it, but just joke, start to finish. If you like just old school, pure comedy.
Yes. And what's great is it's an actual special. Like, every joke crushes.
Thank you.
You know, every special now, it's a lot of B stuff and a little filler and a lot of crowd work. This is just banger after banger, which is a throwback, sadly.
Well, going on the road with you guys obviously has helped because it's like you get it tested in front of a good crowd, good fans.
I want
and
to try one of the
They want to hear jokes, man.
Yeah, right?
That's a rare thing. We're just telling jokes, so it's like, and it takes time to come up with a good joke.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? So you gotta work on it. You gotta
Jesus
perfect it.
Christ.
Oh yeah, these are walnuts. You know, Sam.
Good
I know
Lord.
you're good with nuts.
Yeah,
And,
in my mouth. Holy fuck.
Yeah, these are my favorite.
You fucking asshole.
Jesus Christ. You want one?
No, we're good with this.
No,
You're good with that? Come
espresso
on.
brownie.
Have one of these. Have one of the walnut cookies. Yeah,
Have one, dude. Come on.
Come on. Syracuse.
There you go.
Enough to go around.
Oh my God.
Also, we run 2 shows in New York. We've been running 2 shows in New York for, I don't know.
Yeah,
8
that's
years.
been helpful.
And that is so helpful.
Yeah.
Burning the new.
Irish Exit back in the day.
Back in the
yeah.
day,
Was that your first show together, you two?
that was where we started, and it started as we were putting it together, but then we had people who had to bring people because we couldn't pull an audience.
That's right.
So
I
it took so
forgot.
much time, and then it was just like as time went on, people were like, "Oh, this is a good show." It was completely free.
Yep.
And it was on 52nd and 2nd, and
I
we
used to live
dealt
by
with.
there, and I loved it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you
right.
used to live by there. Yeah, it was perfect. And they just had such a crazy managers that worked there, like just
yeah.
a bunch of drunks. It was mayhem, and we were like the one successful thing they had going, and they didn't even know how to handle it.
I know.
And it was pretty awesome though that we were able to do whatever we wanted when we were there. But it got us better for sure. And then and then that expanded. And then we went over to the cellar
Yeah.
soon after.
Remember when they changed hands ownership and the new guy came and he's like, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to charge everybody $50.
I know.
We're going to sell food. We're going to have food tickets. And we're like, whoa. It's a free show. There's no food tickets. He just took over.
These people never understand what they actually have, especially where it's like, hey, we're putting on a show. We're getting people in a door in any place. That's like the hardest thing in the world, and they didn't appreciate that. I remember that, like in the beginning, they had like girls drink for free between 8 and 9, and like nobody was showing up. And I was like, just add the comedy show in there. And all of a sudden, people started showing up, and they're like, we need to start charging people. I'm like, what?
Then they'll stop coming.
Yeah, then they'll stop coming. It's like you just got them in the door. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
And then the bar was empty, and our show was packed.
Yeah.
And we're like, people aren't paying enough. They're not buying enough drinks. We're like, okay, then no one will buy drinks.
I know. And it was a Tuesday night, too. These people didn't get it. But anyway, they're out of business.
Yeah.
There's a reason for it. Yeah, Irish Egg has been closed for like years. And then we actually left right before they closed. We didn't even know that. I don't even think we knew that they were closing. It was like, we're like, maybe we found out like a week before, and we were like, all right, and we just pivoted.
Yeah.
And then we found a great spot at the Cellar, and then we expanded the show, and then we have it Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Oh, yeah.
Great workout room, man.
It's
everything.
Best. Huge.
Yeah.
It's a secret weapon. Sorry.
We got to plug his new pod too.
Oh yeah, this is big. It's coming out. I mean, it's coming out. Wait, I don't know when this is coming out. If this comes out Father's Day, that's perfect too.
Oh,
but
I've listened to episode 1. It's incredible.
Yeah.
He only sent me episode 1, but tell the.
So yeah, I mean, it's a crazy story with my dad and I. And my dad was a con man, and we stopped talking 24 years ago. I mean, both of you guys know the story, but the podcast, it follows my relationship with him and kind of the things that we went through. And a lot of stuff happened when I was a kid. So I'm not sure if I exactly remember everything. So I start talking to different family members. I talked to a therapist. I talked to some friends to help me like guide me through. Basically, the idea is to eventually track my dad down and see what he's been up to after all this time, after these 24 years. And it's just a lot of stuff that happened, a lot of cons that he pulled that affected the family. And I want to find out if he did it completely for the family, out of like, did he need to do it because that was his only way to survive and make an income, or was he just selfish? Because I mean, eventually it did destroy. Eventually, it did destroy. Did destroy our family. But I do go into this podcast with the idea of maybe I could reconcile with them because it's been so much time.
Really?
Yeah.
You think it's I mean, are you done with shooting all the
done with shooting? I can't say if I was able to track them down, so it leaves a little bit of a mystery. But it's 10 episodes.
Baby.
It's fun. Yeah, it's a cool thing that I was definitely able to experience. And at the start of the podcast, I just became a father, so it picks up from there and kind of seeing me through like the beginning of fatherhood and really wanting to take on like, all right.
The first step, he's interviewing the baby. It's terrible. Get past that.
Yeah. He's pretty advanced though. So no, he it goes through this whole like this whole thing of like my dad and I, we had cons together where it's like, I mean, the most famous con is that we went to Madison Square Garden for 4 years without
Sports Illustrated.
Without tickets. We posed as Sports Illustrated for Kids Reporter, me, and then my dad would pose as a photographer, and they gave us complete access to the entire garden. I'm talking locker rooms. I'd interview players.
Oh my lord!
And then
what a story!
Look at that picture.
That's me with
little Gary with that bowl cut and Michael Jordan.
Oh my!
That bowl cut would get you in anywhere.
Holy shit!
Elway, Bill Murray.
Phil Jackson, look at that.
Wow.
Phil Jackson,
this is incredible.
Cindy Crawford.
Holy hell, your first
I
boner.
fucked her.
Yeah.
Wow.
And everybody bought it.
Gere.
Richard Gere.
Oh, going for the same.
Declaw the boy. Send him back. Oh, man.
So my dad was able to talk a good game and got us, we would have press passes and I would sit, wherever there was an option, but sometimes in the press box, but a lot of times there would be a seat open on the floor and I would sit there. He would be taking pictures. We wouldn't even sit together. And it was just for 4 years, over 50 games, and hung around the Knicks in like that prime era of the 90s, and then same with the New York Rangers.
Unreal. Now you can do this with your kid.
I know.
How cute
times are a little different now, but like I think you could still figure out a way how to comp people. That was the thing that my dad always taught me is like, people seriously do believe whatever you tell them.
Yeah.
A majority at least.
Did you know this was a con when you were doing it? Did you know I'm not really reporting?
Yeah, I'm not an idiot. I know. I go in with a pad and a pen, and my dad would give me like a little prep talk before. Be like, hey, these are the things that you could say. But he would do a lot of the talking with like the main people that he'd have to interact with to like get us to the next level.
So was there juice? Were you excited to be like pulling something off, or we were like just happy to be?
It was. I was excited to be meeting being, I mean, everybody I met was somebody that I wanted to meet, or that especially I love sports. I love the NBA. I love hockey and stuff. So I was like just so excited to go to these games, and that was the way that my dad was able to take me. So I was pumped to just to go. And when we were going to see the Chicago Bulls, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go and meet Michael Jordan. I knew that was going to happen. I knew.
Wow. So you knew he'd find a way in a.
Oh, he would never get shut down. So it was incredible. Whoa. And we were also doing this so many times that people just recognized us. So the security guards knew who we were. It's like you're a familiar face, and then they just gave you access. So after a few times, it just became easier.
What was the experience in the Bulls locker room like with Jordan and Phil Jackson and Pippen?
So when I met Jordan, he was in his own. He already got dressed. Didn't get to see his cock, but went into
really?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
He was in a separate locker room with Phil Jackson and a bunch of assistant coaches. So he wasn't in the own thing. So I guess his life was just like he could be separated from the rest of the team, at least in that setting when I saw him. And he was there with Phil Jackson. And then when I saw Scottie Pippen, he was in the corridor. So I didn't see him in the locker room. And then in the Bulls locker room, it was just every locker room it kind of is all meshes together right now. But yeah, it's all guys getting dressed, walking around with their hogs out.
Sure. It's such an interesting story because on paper, he's a great dad.
Yeah.
You're doing something illegal. He's using you.
Yeah.
But you're meeting these. So it's kind of like this toss and turn of like,
but he did
is this horrible?
Too. This is the fun one.
This is the fun one. Okay. This is kind of what brought me back to like, oh, my dad and I, we had these great memories together. This is something that's so unique and special. And it's the best memories I have as a kid.
Sure,
but there's so many other things that he did.
And he walked out on the family, dude. I mean,
well, yeah. Essentially, I mean, his lies became so much where he was in constant legal battles. I mean, he would impersonate a cop. It's like, I mean, he's not. He had an undercover cop car.
Dad.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But he also, impersonating cops. He would, his every business that he had was being sued. His last business before we
but
basically
he just drag it out in court, right?
Drag it out in court. He knew how to. He would represent himself in some cases, and he would beat
him
the
and
case.
David Berkowitz.
Yeah, exactly.
Ted Bundy.
He figured out a way how to beat the court system. I mean, he knew the law, and like he knew if you delay things that things operate on a certain budget. Like I remember his furniture business was taken on by the New York State Attorney General, and he was able to basically win out in court over them just because of delaying things. And then later in life, he was impersonating. He had a payphone business. Was able to have over like 200 accounts, but he was impersonating AT&T. So that's how he was getting these accounts.
The guy really saw the future. I'm gonna invest.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Is that a photo of him?
What's that?
Is that him?
That's Mike Keenan. I
didn't know either.
Mike Keenan was head coach of the Rangers, so that's who I'm taking a picture with. Yeah, but he looks like my father in that setting, the way he's holding me. But
you have all these amazing memories, but they're just with celebrities. They're not with your dad.
Yeah, exactly. My dad and I during these games, we'd never take pictures together. He also would tell people that he wasn't my father at the games, and he would use different aliases over time.
This is fascinating.
So it's one of the things where I remember going to the games. As we do this scam so much, I'm like, hey, can you just say that you're my father? It's like, I don't think that's needed. You could still because it's much weirder to just say that you're a photographer with a lone kid.
True.
But yeah, he just loved to lie. He needed to lie, and that was his quality. He was good at it. Yeah,
it's kind of like Leo and Catch Me If You Can. It's that
for sure.
Guy.
Absolutely. He everything he did, he found a way. He got off on that scam, and there are things that when I was growing up, I remember starting off at just like going to movie theaters with my dad. He wouldn't pay. He would just be telling me like go under the ropes and and then he'd just get to the usher and be like, that's my kid that's like down the corridor, and then he'd get a free pass and so it's like every time we go to the movie theaters, and same thing with how he'd say that he wasn't he would say that he was my father there, but I would tell him, I'm like, can we just go to a movie theater and you actually pay? And he just never would do it. But
he is good at what he does.
Great at what he does.
But he's a talented guy, it sounds like. It's an illegal talent, but talent's talent.
For sure. I mean, everything. It was like,
but also he's a kid. He doesn't have a choice. He's like kind of forcing his kid to be complicit in
totally abusive. Yeah. But I'm just saying he was a pro.
And the way that like a father obviously teaches a son, good things. Like my father was teaching me, like to him, this is how the world works, and this is how you get by. So he was looking at all these things as, all right, I'm showing my son, this is how he could get further in life.
I don't know. I mean, this is kind of old school. Like, you don't see these kind of guys anymore.
It's harder to do it.
It's harder to do it.
It's so funny that you're like, Dad, can we play catch? He's like, no, let's fucking con Jose Canseco.
yeah.
It's always something.
It's always something. I mean, if we were going out to eat, and the reason I think like the payphone thing was so interesting was that we could go to a restaurant, and it would just be like, we're out at a restaurant. And all of a sudden, their phones would stop working. And then it's like, who could fix their phones? But the phone guy who just happens to be there. And you're like, how did those phones just stop working when like we were there? Or it would be like another time, phones would stop working and we'd go back to this place and like he'd already made himself very familiar in these settings. And it's like he was always up to something, whether it's like, I never saw him cut phone wires, but it's like all these like interesting situations that we would be put in that he just somehow always had an out and was always able to figure out a way to like get us something for free or barter.
This is a movie. I mean, there's a movie in this for sure. Just cutting the phone lines, like him back in the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things. Like, because not only do I talk to I have two older sisters, so they tell stories that I didn't know because I'm the youngest, and I stopped talking to my dad when I was 15. They both stopped talking to him as well. Whoa. But they remember things and they tell stories on the podcast about their experiences, and their experiences are similar, but they have their own stories of things.
There was no WNBA, so they were.
Yeah, exactly. They couldn't get into that, but they did. They experienced the same exact thing, and then just from like an older standpoint. So it's cool to hear them. And then I go and I talk to my mom about my dad for the first time, and like we haven't talked to him in 24 years.
What
so
did she say?
She didn't want to say much. Let's put it that way. But yeah,
she's seen some crazier
tough.
Shit, I'm sure.
Yeah, so it's a tough thing because I mean, my dad is very litigious, and there's a big fear of like anybody who is involved in the podcast about things like coming back, and
that's season 2, dude.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. I battle my dad in court,
and he defends himself.
I wear that suit for my special.
You got a lot of evidence. I mean, you got all the photos.
Yeah. But it's like, there are a lot of things in the podcast that legal wise I couldn't say. So the podcast is called Number One Dad, and it's going to be available everywhere starting on June 10th.
And it's like a movie. It's like it's audio, but it plays out like a 30 for 30 on ESPN. It's really great music.
It tracks me in real time as I try and learn more about my dad, and then also learn presently what he's up to. So I learn it's a past and present type focus.
Wow, but no diddle stuff.
What I mean,
like he never did
fondle me.
Yeah,
no.
So that's kind of good. I'd rather Gretzky than diddle.
Yeah. I didn't get diddled.
Play it against molestation.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I know. My dad's Kevin Spacey. And,
again, talented guy. So what did can I ask, what is he doing now for money, or is he just is he living?
So that's what it's like. That's where the podcast eventually goes. Where it's like I have to find out, is he up to something that's good or is he bad? Has he changed at all? So it's kind of, So it's like that was kind of my mindset of going into it.
Change at that age?
Probably not. Well, so one of the things is like I talked to Sam in the podcast, and because like Sam comes from experience of it, not talking to his biological father, and it's interesting because there are people out there that obviously have have poor relationships with their family, but Sam was a good person to talk to because it's like you reconnected with your dad, or tried to at one point, just to see what he's up to when you were 19, and I didn't know what it was going to be like for me. So Sam helps guide me.
It's very rare that you reconnect with someone like that and you're like, this guy's great.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
No, it's usually they're out of the picture for a reason.
Yep.
And you're going to be disappointed, and they're usually some sort of narcissist.
Right.
Like I remember I showed my therapist at the time a note that he wrote me, and he goes, every sentence is I. There's nothing about the impact he made on you.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Diddy similar in his apology. See, that was all I.
Oh, dude, when he said like my rock bottom, you beat the shit out of him. That's not your rock bottom is not supposed to be not as bad as the other person.
Right.
One getting kicked in the head.
Yeah.
But that's like, it's like narcissistic. Do you think he's a narcissist, or do you think he's just like...
I think a narcissist, sociopath. Like, I mean, it's everything that he can't see the wrong that he's doing at all. And
your face is lighting up as a kid, so there's got to be a little bit like, man, I'm the man,
Well,
I'm the great dad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going through, between the ages of, I'm so involved in this, and this is when I was between the ages of 9 to 13. So everything, from 9, I'm looking at my dad, I'm like, wow, this is so cool that we get to do this. And these were memories of me going to Madison Square Garden that I couldn't share the next day in school, because, I mean, we're sneaking our way in and we're doing it technically, illegally, and he wouldn't want people to know. So it was a secret that I had to keep.
Paper trail back to the kindergarten.
Yeah, exactly. But he wouldn't want any of that to come back on him. And so as I was getting older, I was like, well, not only did I see like these lies that were happening, and I was like, oh, okay, like at least I'm benefiting from it. But then I saw like other things where people would get very angry at him, demanding money that he owes them. And it's like, damn, this is like my dad. And I'm like, why can't you just be like a normal dad?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was the tough part. As you're getting older, you're like, you watch a normal dad when I'd be playing sports and they're, in the stands, and like, it's like, oh, this is cool. Like, this dad's cheering on his kid and he seems very supportive. And then my dad, if we were playing Little League, all of a sudden he'd have like 4 bats from the Little League and there'd be in the trunk of our car because he lifted them. And then he'd give I remember he gave one bat. He was a coach of our Little League team, and somehow a bunch of Little League equipment went missing. And then we see my cousin, who was like 8 years old at the time, maybe like a few weeks later, and he just hands him a bat. This is like property of Half Hollow Hills Little League. Got it. And that was his birthday gift, like an old bat.
Damn.
And you're like, what are you doing? Like, it's like so obvious that this isn't a bat that was like a real new bat that was a gift.
I'm so fascinated by this. Now, did you meet his dad? Was his dad a similar cut of the old block?
His dad was from the Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia at the time, and he's just like old,
Some of the first Jews to go down in World War II.
Yeah, exactly. But he was able to, obviously he got out, and then he was just kind of a foreigner where just like going, he definitely struggled to make money, and my dad, I think, just saw that, and then he just went a different route. But my grandfather, his father, was a good guy, and just my dad I think just saw a way to cheat. And I think it's that time period of like kids growing up. My dad, I guess he grew up in like the 50s, where you could just like, you're sneaking around everywhere you go. There's easier ways to be a con man, and I think you just learned the tricks of the trade.
Now, what hit you at 15 that made you break out?
I mean, the constant lying. He was treating he was treating me badly. He was treating my mom badly. It's just like everything. You couldn't believe what he was saying. He'd be gone for weeks at a time. And I remember just the feeling of like, every time he would leave the house, I'd have a sense of relief. My parents were constantly fighting, and it always seemed like it was my dad. From as a 15-year-old looking at it, it was my dad's doing. It was my dad was in the wrong. My mom wasn't doing anything. She was a stay-at-home mom. She was kind of just had to deal with everything that he was bringing to the table.
What was her reaction when you're going to these games?
I think she just went along with it. I mean, like, she's married to the guy. Like, are you going to divorce somebody because of that? It's like eventually it leads to other problems where the reason for them falling apart. But yeah, that was just like, oh, I seem happy about it, and if I'm happy and it doesn't seem like I'm getting hurt, you just go along with it. But I think she was.
Did she ask you how you're getting in, or do you think?
Oh, I mean, I definitely told her. I don't remember like if there was a specific conversation or anything, but I mean, she knew 100%, and I think you kind of just go with it. It's like, what are you gonna do if like that's your son? And he seems like I was having a great time.
Sure.
Especially in the beginning. And then I think, she eventually, that stuff was happening between them, and then the way that he was treating the entire family, it just was led to everything falling apart.
Now, do you have, because look, my dad's a dweeb, he's annoying, but I see myself doing dad shit. Like, it just stuck. Do you have any in you? Like, you got some con artist blood?
Yeah.
Because we run shows together. This guy can cook the books. He's good with numbers. He's good with money. I mean, I've seen what you can do with the spreadsheet.
Well, I've always been good at talking to people and getting them to like, go along with something for the ride. Whether it was like convincing somebody for us to put on a show, but back in the day,
convincing someone on the road to pay for an expensive.
yeah.
That's a
Listen,
on.
You come to this city, you don't eat here. You're a fool. Let me tell you.
Sammy always pays, but Sam starts cutting phone wires too. Just but no, what I would do is, I mean, back in the day, like starting, I mean, definitely in high school, I mean, cheating on exams and things like that was fine. I would steal exams. I always found a way to, I would be able to go into a classroom like after the school day was over, and I go into a filing cabinet, steal exams. I stole grade books. And then you have a red pen, you could just easily change some grades. When I was in college, I was stealing exams too. So I stole a midterm and a final out of an accounting class, and they were it was very easy. The accounting class was, they had two classes. The first class was at like 11 o'clock, and the next one was at 2. I was in the 2 o'clock, and the teacher would lay out the exams in alphabetical order. So I just went to the first class and just nabbed some random person's exam,
genius.
and then gave it to kids that were smart in my class just so they could fill it out, and I had all the answers by the 2 o'clock class. So it's just like a simple thing. So one of the things my dad, and as far as like what was passed on, is there's always a way. There's always a way to figure out something that could be easier. Now, wouldn't it have been easier to study? I mean, I had to think about that. I had to think about the reason.
No rush.
It sounds pretty. No rush when you study. But I didn't want to study. I didn't want to learn accounting. And
You're like the Danny Ocean of SUNY Buffalo.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, also, people always say, hey, you can't cheat as easily now with the internet, social media, DMs. You're always traced and tracked. But there are also helps with social media and internet and all that. Like, you can use that to your advantage when you're scheming as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't know the way it works now, but in terms of that, but I mean, they could definitely figure, there's always a way.
Always a way.
Also, just liars are so confident.
Yeah.
Like the way your dad would lie, he probably just made people be like, well, why would this guy lie?
Absolutely, yeah.
This person lied about
true.
this.
He's got a kid with him.
So part of also being a good liar is you do tell the truth like 95% of the time. So because then you don't get caught in your lies as much. If you could keep track of your lies, you could kind of get away with it. So a little bit more of the truth is always beneficial in the lie.
Can you give an example?
Well, I guess if we were going somewhere, it's like, he is he's a payphone man. He fixes payphones. Like he is partially who he says he is.
I see.
I'm his son. This is his family. I play hockey. Just the background of a story.
Right. Okay.
But if he's I guess screwing somebody over, it's going to be like on money. It's like it's going to be on something like that he doesn't deliver on certain goods. So it's like a way of like getting by on something. Like he was in the furniture business, and he was eventually not delivering furniture to people, but he would only not deliver it to a certain group of certain amount of people. Now I wouldn't say certain group, blacks. No, but like a small portion of people wouldn't get their furniture. Yeah. But if you're giving it to a good number of people, then you're at least like, hey, well, that doesn't make much sense.
Theirs.
Yeah, they got theirs. What you're saying
back then, or Google reviews.
Yeah, there's no Google reviews. You could do like Better Business Bureau, but it's like this is a hassle. And a lot of times where it's like if somebody was getting conned, my dad would think that they wouldn't go through like these steps to like, figure out that he is a con man, or like I'm gonna call the Better Business Bureau, and you need a lot of complaints for it to get back to you.
Well, what's scary, because this is gold. I mean, there's so much great stuff here. I'm on the edge of my seat. But if this blows up big, guess who's going to come a-calling?
I know, yeah. He'd be
Papa.
Calling. Yeah,
Papa
absolutely.
Gary, what do you say? One more job.
Yeah.
Just got laughed out of Madison Square Garden. You were there for Gary was at Game 7 when the Rangers, was it Game 7?
I was at Game 1, Game 5, and Game 7 without a ticket. Game 7.
Where they won the cup.
Yeah. Wow. Actually, wait, I could share.
Picture Gary in the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, you'd have to go like Getty Images, but there's some stuff there of like my dad and I just like right at the glass, like we eventually link up, and then he's taking a picture as Messier brings the cup like around.
Jesus.
And
okay, Messier cup.
Yeah, you could try that.
And Gary also ended up at Gracie Mansion then.
Yeah, so so Rudy Giuliani was mayor at the time, and then they had the oh, by the way, those are my hands in that
Come
corner.
on.
Like if you go down, like those hands, yeah.
Oh
but you got there's a picture. You keep going around.
Oh my God! Did you see the kid in the Panthers game behind the?
Oh, without the shirt.
There was a little kid, just flexing shirtless behind. You got to pull that one up next.
No, I didn't see that.
But yeah, you got to keep going around. It's like right around the boards where he's going. Yeah, keep going. Might take a minute.
Jesus, I mean, how old?
Oh, look. Well, yeah, you see those hands again. Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah, you can almost get.
Dude, pull up Florida Panthers kid flexing.
What year was
for
it?
the Rangers?
That's 1994.
Okay, so you were what, 13?
I was 11 at the time. Yeah,
Wow.
11. Yeah.
And you sold coke in college, I believe.
Oh my God, yeah, completely forgot about that. I made like 25 grand, 50 grand, something like that. I walked away with 25 grand. I made 50 grand altogether.
Look at that kid
Yeah.
behind the interview.
Yeah, there I am again.
Hockey seems like it has a lot of funny shit like that happen. Like
Yeah.
at the Oilers game, that woman just took her shirt off and she had
Yes.
nice,
Yeah,
looked
yeah,
nice
yeah.
too.
Great oil
Good-looking
cans.
body. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, playoff hockey is fucking fun.
It's fun.
Playoff hockey, yeah. There's so much.
wildness to it.
There's so much life in the building.
Yes.
And yeah, now it's the Panthers. It's like crazy. But what was crazy though is like you would think like who wants to be a Florida Panthers fan, but there are, and
Florida,
they have good. They have a good
Florida.
fan base.
Oh, near Miami, right?
Oh, what the fuck is
Yeah.
this?
Oh, that sucks.
It's your fault for going to New York Times.
Yeah.
They were going to show the tits on that one.
That's toxic. Oh,
Yeah, come
You got to
on.
find it on Twitter, dude. That's the only one.
Twitter.
Let me find this pic. I have it right here.
All right, he'll.
Oh,
You need Matt's number, or you can send it to me. I'll send it to Matt.
nice.
Dude,
Tits.
so you get into Gracie Mansion with your dad.
Yeah, I get into Gracie Mansion with my dad, and it was so the Rangers won the cup. I was at Game 7. After the game, I go into locker room. I interview the players. I'm with the cup, watching them all drink the cup. I got a hat signed by the 4 All-Stars of that year, which is Adam Graves, Mike Richter, Mark Messier, and Brian Leach. I was so happy about that. Yeah, amazing.
No offense, but I think I'd be like, can we get this fucking kid out of here? I'm trying to get drunk and get blown.
Yeah, but I was there. I was a familiar face. I've been in the locker room so many times with them too.
Wow.
So then they had the after party, and this was the first time my dad wasn't going to get us in because you had to have a special pass.
Sure.
They weren't letting press in, and my dad found a way because some guy came around and you still had rolls of film back in this time. So this guy came around and he asked my dad. He goes, "By any chance you have a roll of film I could have?" And my dad goes, "Yeah, if you could get my son into this party." So I went into this party with this guy who I didn't know.
Wow.
And then we went into
You got in?
Rangers. Yeah, after
Oh
party.
my God, that's
Yeah.
incredible. Because
Come-
I like that your dad probably took that as a challenge. Like,
Oh, he loved it, man.
I'm getting in.
Hey.
You know?
Hey, Chazz.
When you're trying to sell your artwork, merch, or even that old junk from your garage on the internet, you want a global commerce platform that's easy to use. Shopify has you covered. They're here to help you sell at every stage of your business, from the all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. Whatever and wherever you're selling, do it with Shopify. This is a great new thing. I really recommend getting on it. And, Shopify is the best converting platform that turns browsers into buyers. They're up to a whopping 36% better than the other guys and power 10% of all e-commerce in the United States and millions of sellers across 175 countries. They even have awesome resources to help you along the way and AI tools to make your life easier. Sign up for $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/drunk, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/drunk, all lowercase, now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/drunk.
Hey folks, We Might Be Drunk is brought to you by Manscaped. You don't have to lie to yourself. We all know you've been neglecting those balls. Check out the Manscaped Lawnmower family, including the Lawnmower 3.0 Plus, 4.0 Pro, and 5.0 Ultra. They each have unique features for different grooming needs. For a basic trim, try the 3.0 and work your way up to the 4.0 and the 5.0 for the ultimate grooming experience. I love Manscaped. You know that. I never leave home without it. I keep it in my travel bag. I hit the balls, the shaft, the thigh area, the weird gooch. I hit the face. I mean, it's all getting trimmed, folks. Why the hell not? I'm a hairy beast. Might as well trim up the hedges so you can see the post. Each trimmer comes with its own travel case and even a travel lock feature. That's nice. To keep your suitcase from buzzing at the airport, get 20% off and free shipping with code DRUNK at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code DRUNK at manscaped.com. For the best your boys have ever looked, trust Manscaped.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, I'm Gary. Nice
Gary.
to meet you. Hey, Gary. Yeah.
So we got cookies, brownies. I don't know if you're hungry.
Espresso brownies.
His wife made them.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm excited, man. We're fans.
Brownies are a little dangerous. Brownies are a little dangerous. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get me started on Brownsville.
We were just talking you weren't on this run, but I did a tour last year on the bus. We just watch movies every night.
Right.
And one of the movies we watched is Bullets Over Broadway.
Oh, Bullets, yeah.
I think it's the funniest Woody Allen movie
It's
ever.
one of his. I thought, not trying to be a little biased, but I know I'm in it. But if you really listen to the script, it was great what he was saying.
It's amazing.
About art and about morality and about every artist creates his own universe. It was pretty incredible. Yeah, I really liked it a lot.
Yeah. Well, how was working with Woody?
Woody's great. People always go, how's it working with him? Woody doesn't talk.
Huh.
He doesn't talk to the actors. And people, if you're not secure as an actor, it's very, you have to be secure because you walk around, everybody goes, is he like me? Is it okay?
Yeah.
But he doesn't talk. In fact, I always tell other actors who come to me and say, hey, I'm going to be working with Woody. I said, if he doesn't talk to you, you're doing great.
Right.
If he talks to you, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're in trouble. I mean, I remember one time, John Cusack and I, we had a very long scene sitting at the bar I'm talking to him and I'm telling him about how I started killing people, and with the ice pick, it was crazy. And Woody shoots in Masters. So you got to know your lines. You have to know your lines, otherwise you're in trouble. So him and I, we worked on it, John and I, and then just before we shot, this was his direction. My hand to God, I'm not lying. He walks over to us and says, I can't do Woody, but he goes, wait a minute, hold up. He always goes, wait a minute. He goes, I got to talk to you guys. And me and John are like, oh shit, what do we do? And he walks over to us, he says, it's a very long scene. He goes, the Knicks go on at 8, speed it up.
I love that.
I love that.
The Knicks go on at 8.
That was a big year. That was 94. I'm actually wearing that right there. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Speed it up.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
That's what he said.
I respect that.
But you know what? It was great direction.
Yeah.
Because it is a very long scene, and it just gave us the feeling of, hey man, don't hang on these lines, don't make a meal out of them, just go.
Right.
So I thought it was great direction.
Man, and I mean, look, we're huge fans. I don't want to geek out too much, but you're a New York guy.
Yeah.
Bronx Tale. How the hell do you get that in people's hands? Because to me, that's the hardest part of making in this business.
Oh, that was the easiest part.
Come on, how'd you get it to them?
Well, let me, if you got a minute for the story.
We got
Please.
cookies,
Yeah.
we got booze, we got water.
I was working when I was 9 years old. I was sitting on a stoop in the Bronx where I grew up, and it was a great neighborhood. I don't want to sound like I lived in this drug-infested ghetto. It was a great Italian neighborhood, And I was on a stoop, and these two cars one car was backing in, the other guy looked like he snuck in behind him, and I'm looking. I said, "Oh shit, man! There's going to be a beef now." And all of a sudden, one guy got out with a baseball bat, came over, smashed the window of the other guy. I feel like I'm doing the play here. Smashed the window of the other guy in the back. And then the guy got out of the car, and he went to hit him again with the bat. And his friend came over, who was a wise guy, came over from the corner and killed the guy with the bat, right in front, like from me to you.
Wow.
And I just kind of was staring at it, I was like, wow. Then next minute, my father dragged me upstairs, and then the cops came because they said the kid knows who did it. Some people said, yeah, the kid was on the stoop. So the cops came upstairs, and I don't know if you saw Bronx Tale.
Yeah. Oh, so many times.
I never really went downstairs. As a writer, I embellished that lineup scene. Upstairs, my father said he's not going down. He didn't see nothing. And the guy said, look, I'll never forget his line. He said, I didn't pick his name out of a hat. They said it was him. And my father said, he didn't see anything. Did you see anything? And I said, I didn't see nothing, Dad.
Wow.
But in the movie, I had a bond, Sonny and I, somehow. But the next day, I was sitting on the stoop, and when Sonny walked by, he looked at me and went, like,
Right.
I know you know that I know, but you're a good kid. And that's how my relationship started with these guys. I go get lunch for them, cigarettes for them. So, cut to, I had to tell you that. So, cut to 30, God knows, years later, 40 years later, whatever, and I'm working as a doorman. I used to bounce because, as a stand-up comic, you do other things till you hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was bouncing, and all of a sudden one day I didn't let this guy in, and the guy came over to me and he said, "You're going to be fired in 15 minutes." Really arrogant. And I said, yeah, sure. And the guy was Swifty Lazar. Now, you guys are too young to know who Swifty Lazar is. He was the biggest agent in the world.
Okay.
In the world. And I just did not let him into his own party. 15 minutes later, I got fired.
Oh, boy.
I go back to my shitty apartment in West Hollywood, and I said, "Look, I've been acting all these." I was in the actor's studio. I just couldn't believe I was in this position. So I said, "You know what? If they won't give me a great part, I'll write one myself." So I went to my acting theater, and I started writing about the monologue. And 5 minutes, another 10 minutes, another 15 minutes. But as stand-up comics, you understand, I was workshopping it in front of a live audience.
Yeah.
So I would write 10 minutes and take 4 minutes, write 3 minutes, take the best of the 3 minutes. So at the end of almost a year, I had 90 minutes of this one-man show. And then I borrowed money off a friend of mine. I put it up. And guys, like you said, how do you get enhanced? It was could you curse here? Could I?
Yeah, please.
It was a fucking rocket.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, 2 weeks later, I get offered $250,000
What?
for the script. But they didn't want me. They wanted to put a star on the role.
Sure.
Then I said, "Hey, man, I want to play Sonny, and I want to write it." They said, "Forget it." I said, "Okay." I didn't do it. Crowds kept getting bigger. We had to move into a bigger theater. It went from $250,000 to $500,000. $200 in the bank, my hand to God. I kept doing it. Then they went to $1 million. And again, I said no.
Wow.
It's a story in Hollywood. You look it up on Google.
Yeah.
Finally, after I turned down the $1 million, about 2 weeks later, I did the show. And I get up stage, and the stage manager walks over and says, "Hey, Robert De Niro, he's in your dressing room. He just saw the show." So I said, "Oh, shit." So I walked down to my dressing room, and Bob is sitting there. He's like, "Yeah, So I said, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "How are you?" He goes, "Look, I know what's going on in Hollywood." He goes, "Everybody I know in Hollywood wants this, and I know you're getting a lot of offers." He goes, "And I know, nobody wants to take a chance with you." He goes, "But I'll tell you what, I think you should play Sonny. You'll be great as Sonny, and you should write it because it's honest. It'll be about your life." He goes, "I'll play your father, and I'll direct it. And if you shake my hands, that's the way it'll be." I shook his hand, and that's how the movie got made.
Wow.
Did you have people at the time, like an agent, saying like $1 million? You got to take. Were they
Yes.
pressuring you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
they pressured me saying, because all the big directors from that all wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to name them because they're friends of mine. Every big director wanted it. And they said, "Why are you going with De Niro for?" And I said, "Why am I going with De Niro?" They said, "He never directed before." I said, "The man did 9 movies for Martin Scorsese. He had to learn something."
Guys, were there any other people that were supposed to play you that you could tell us?
Never.
Yeah, never. There was never
I
any
could tell
names
you
that they
people
threw around.
I could tell you who came to see it, who wanted to play.
Yeah, would love. Yeah.
There was a lot of my friends of mine, man. No,
Yeah,
there was a lot of stars.
Oh.
Well, I could tell you the people who passed. Burt Reynolds wanted to do it.
Whoa.
He wanted to do it. I mean, I know Redford was too old at the time.
Too
Ray
white.
Sharkey wanted to do it.
Yeah, I heard Redford was up for Godfather too, and I was
Yes.
like, Redford?
Wow.
Too-
As a Corleone?
Too arrogant.
It's a redhead.
Well,
Yeah.
You know who was the big person up for it? More than Redford?
Who?
Ryan O'Neal.
That was the
right.
whitewashing of Hollywood.
Ryan O'Neal was the number one choice because he just did a love story.
Yeah.
Right.
I know because I was friends with.
Yeah. But by the way, so glad that you played Sonny. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
you just.
Yeah.
It's the Sylvester Stallone story. It's like, I got to play
Yeah.
it. I'm Rocky.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Imagine if someone else was Rocky.
Ah.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
You know, it works out for the way, guys, it works out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I just believe that people said, how could you turn down $1 million? And I just said, I got to be honest with you guys, after the 250, it was easy after that.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
when you got nothing you don't know.
Yeah, it's not real.
You don't know. It's not real. It's numbers to me. It means bullshit. 200, 500, 750. What is it? Yeah. Okay. So it worked out really great, man.
Now, it's your story.
Right.
Did you ever get annoyed with De Niro? I mean, De Niro's a hot shot, big deal. And he's directing your movie. Are you kind of going, Bobby, I don't really care for that take?
You know what? That's a very good point. But him and I, we got along great. It was one. See, Bob, the thing about De Niro, he's an incredible artist. And the way he is, I said things that he was so collaborative with me. And he said a brilliant thing to me. He said, it takes just as much talent to recognize a great idea as it is to come up with it yourself.
Ooh.
And I never...
I don't know. I think it's harder to create a thing.
Well, yes, but if somebody comes up with an idea, Sam, and say, well, in stand-up it's a little different because you never steal someone's joke.
Right.
But if someone comes up with a premise that you say, hey, I could write a bit on that,
Yeah.
you know, and you write a bit on that, but it's not what they said, that's not stealing,
Right.
you know. So...
And I don't want to get too in the weeds here, but I think Hollywood now has a real recognized problem. I feel like
Absolutely.
they can't see good anymore. They're just going off business
Well, that's
and
because,
numbers.
but they didn't. I mean, De Niro picked this. Although I guess you were getting hit up by everyone at that.
everyone.
And that was like a hot time for movies. I feel like the early
my God.
90s was like.
Yeah.
I feel like the 90s is an underrated decade
Yes.
for great movies.
I'm
There's
surprised.
So many.
100%.
I mean, I would go to the bathroom. It was Al Ruddy. You know, who produced The Godfather.
Uh-huh.
And I was taking a leak. I'll never forget it. It was at the Palm restaurant on Rodeo Drive. And I was taking a leak, and all of a sudden, some guy goes right next to me. He's taking a leak. He goes, listen, now we're pissing now. He goes, I know what's going on, man. I'll give you a check for $1 million tomorrow. I'm Al Ruddy. I produced The Godfather. And I was like, I said, well, I really can't talk right at this minute.
Yeah. Then he pulled a gun from behind the toilet.
That's how bad it was. I mean, it was crazy. You never see anything like it. It was Rocky and then me.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
That's a great shot right there.
Great shot.
Well, what happened was you know, De Niro, when I went into if you ever sat in a coffin, it's kind of like unnerving.
Why would we ever? You said that like it's observation.
If you were in a movie or something.
Yeah.
So I sat in a coffin, and the first 10 minutes was a little eerie, but then it's quite comfortable. So I really laid there, you know, and I was falling asleep.
Yeah.
So I kept falling asleep, and we were laughing. He kept going, "What the fuck are you doing?" And Joe Pesci's there, and Joe's going, "Hey, I got a better shot. If you just let this guy dead, what is he doing here?" He goes, "He's upstaging me with his fucking snoring." You know? So that's why we started laughing over there.
That's pretty cool.
Well, you know why? Because I was in the coffin for 15 hours.
Oh, what? God.
Because I had to lay there while all the guests came in. And Bob wanted me there.
Jeez.
That's Bob De Niro. He wants the realistic. Because by rights, I could have got up and they could have just stared down at a piece of tape.
Yeah.
But we were the only actors in the movie. They were untrained actors. So he wanted me to be in there.
Man,
So-
look how happy he was before Trump.
Did your father have a lot of the same qualities? Or did De Niro take on a lot of the same qualities as your father?
My De Niro says to me, he goes, listen, now you got to picture this now. My father's Sicilian. Love Robert De Niro. He was God in our house, De Niro, right? De Niro tells me, he goes, you know, I'm going to fly your father up from Florida. They lived in Florida. He goes, I want to hang out with him for a month. I said, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, I want him to talk to me about how he drove the bus.
Wow.
And I said, but nobody knows, you know, if you do a famous person, then you got to do that. But nobody knows my dad. He goes, no, it's important that I do that. So I said, Dad, De Niro wants to hang out with you. He goes, well, Robert De Niro? I go, yeah. Flew my father up, and for a month, he said, I want your father to teach me how to drive a bus. My father taught him
Wow.
how he did the changer, you know, when you do the changer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said in his lunch, and he carried I get the chills when I think about it. My father had a cushion. He put the cushion under here, and if you watch the movie, exactly like that.
Whoa.
That's unbelievable.
Thank God De Niro never played a Nazi.
Oh, he would. I mean, God knows, because he is. I mean, he's a true method actor.
Oh, yeah.
For
what
Taxi Driver, for Taxi Driver, De Niro got a hack license and drove a cab for a while.
Yes.
That's it. That's the picture right there.
Peter's got a hack license.
in your home that was like, this is our De Niro movie that we watched the most? Was it Taxi Driver, Mean Streets?
It was probably Mean Street was the first.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood, we ever saw that. We were like blown away by that. Well, that was the great time for movies. You know?
Oh, in the 70s.
You know, it was a great time because everything was real then. You know, so real. And I remember that movie. Then, you know, I saw another movie that he did right at that same time called Bang the Drum Slowly. And he was great in that too. I mean, Bob is, you know, if you want to say one of the great actors of any generation, you would have to say that, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
He's that great, man. Really
And then
is.
when him and Scorsese get together, it's really something special.
Oh, it's magic.
Well, they have that magic together, you know, and now Leo is there
Yes.
with them, you know, Leo's
Yes.
been great with them, and they're all, you know.
It's incredible. He's 80. I think 80, 81, Scorsese, and he just cranked out Flower Moon.
Yes.
It's incredible.
And the movies are getting
Biden's
longer. It's crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
Every movie now, even like Wolf of Wall Street was like that. Like the pace of that movie for 3.5 hours. I was
Yeah.
like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Coked
a lot of people don't realize that there's two sets of timing. There's artistic time and then there's real time. You could watch a movie that's an hour and a half, it feels like 3.5 hours.
Yes.
You could watch a movie that's 3.5 hours, it feels like an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you watch Goodfellas, Dancing with Wolves, Braveheart, those movies fly.
They fly, and they're hours. and
Because
hours.
artistic time, it feels real.
Yeah, I banged my wife for 2 minutes. Feels like an hour.
Not for her.
No.
But
Yeah,
what were the movies that made you like? Let's say, I want to make movies.
Was On the Waterfront.
Oh, I just watched it.
We just talked.
That's-
we just talked about it because we pulled the clip of Orson Welles trashing Eli Kazan, but then at the end going, but he's a very good director.
Yeah.
No, On the Waterfront.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that's my favorite movie. I didn't know it was Marty Scorsese's favorite movie.
Oh, I didn't know that
And
either.
De Niro's favorite movie.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
I could have been a contender.
It's beautiful. Yeah,
It's like really
great script too.
It's a great script, and you know, it's funny. I did a movie with Rod Steiger, you know, so I couldn't wait to do it so I could ask him about On the Waterfront.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, so Rod, when you did the scene in the taxi, you know, I could have been a contender. Tell me about that. You know, I'm like a sponge. I want to hear everything. And he said, well, after Brando did his close-up, he left.
Huh.
I said, what? You mean you did that? He goes, yeah, I did it to the script supervisor, young girl. I said, holy shit. You know, Brando did his close-ups, and then he walked off. Then he said, all right, that's it, I'm done. And then so Rod Steiger had to do it with the,
Oh,
and if you
hilarious.
see, you see the blinds in the back. What happened was, you see the blinds?
Yep.
The first, they forgot to get the blind. They forgot to get, what do you call? They didn't have the cars going behind them. They forgot that tape. So all of a sudden, the first AD said, you know, I saw a taxi with blinds once. And Kazan said, put fucking blinds in.
Wow.
So that's how that happened.
Good note. Yeah, Brando is a menace, I heard. If you can find this photo, it's a rare photo, but it's somebody in Godfather is wearing, I think Duvall is wearing cue cards.
Right.
Because he's got them right here because Brando wouldn't learn his lines.
He doesn't like, now he says he likes doing that. I don't know. People
There it
say,
is.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
He was also flying, I think, to and from because he was in a custody battle or something during that
Yes.
movie. So he was doing a red eye, I think, to shoot from New York.
And they weren't
likes
even going to
that
pick him,
feeling.
right?
He likes the feeling of, I don't, you know, he likes that, like it's new, it's fresh. But you could do that by memorizing your lines.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, he hated acting, you know.
Come on.
Hated it.
Really?
Yes.
That's
Said he
unbelievable.
only did it because of the money.
What?
Yes.
What does
I
he
know
wanna
that's
do?
weird, right?
Yeah. Because like you get these guys like Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm going to be a cobbler. And then they cobble for 8 minutes and they go, all right, get me back to Hollywood.
Well, Danny Day-Lewis is one of the greats.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's one of the
Agreed.
greats. Yeah, he's one of the greats. So, but that's true story, man. What Rob said. I was really, But he's like, the cat jumped into his arms. That cat wasn't supposed to be there.
Oh,
It was on
really?
the set. And then when the cat, he just said, let it. And he just petted it.
That's so
And
funny.
let it go.
And he doesn't like acting.
Doesn't he like acting?
That's what's crazy. Just the best,
He's
He's the best
best
at
of
it,
all
but
time.
he really didn't.
Wow.
He said it.
But we talk about like Hollywood, not necessarily getting it right, but like he almost didn't play, Vito. It's like across the board. It's
had to
like they
fight so hard.
Yeah, they didn't want Coppola.
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
They didn't want Pacino.
They didn't want Pacino.
Oh,
yeah.
hated Al. I talked to Al because I did things with Al, and Al told me that when he killed that scene, that was his first. That was like the third scene he did. So when he killed them, they looked at the thing and they said, "All right, he could stay." Because he said he was getting fired.
Well, they say because he was so short, and I relate to
Evans
it.
called him the midget.
So yeah,
getting-
I was like, come on.
Evans called him.
And he's
called him.
5'7".
But yeah, he's 5'7", and it's like to make him look tough. They're trying to figure that out.
But let me tell you about Bob Evans because I did a movie for Bob Evans, and
I love Bob Evans.
And
I love him.
He was great. I loved him.
Yeah.
This guy can make Harvard root for Yale.
Yeah.
He was the best.
Wow.
He would talk to you. Now, when I did a movie with him, I've been around. I did a lot of movies. So he'd come over to me and say, Chazz, I got to talk to you. I said, what's that? What's up, Bob? He goes, I want to tell you something. You are the new Bogart. The new Bogart for the 90s. And I'm in my mind, I'm going, I don't believe any of this, right? He walks away, then I go, yeah, I could see that.
I mean,
You got to feel pretty good if he says that.
no.
That's unbelievable.
He would talk. He would say things, and you'd just be mesmerized. If you saw the movie The Offer, I don't know if you saw
I
it.
loved it.
That was Bob Evans.
Really, they nailed it.
He could walk. Oh, that guy was brilliant. who
Yeah.
played him.
Yeah.
He could walk in and just mesmerize a room.
Wow, he was great in Kid Stays in the Picture, the documentary.
That was
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
I love when he's on the phone. He's like, "You tell that Polak I'm on my way out." He speaks so old school.
Yeah, no, he was.
He seems so cool.
Yeah.
He was. I really loved him. He was a good guy, man.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
he's such a legend.
Yeah.
That guy, there was that story that they were trying to get in Chinatown. No, not China. Yeah, it was Chinatown. It was Faye Dunaway. They're trying to get her money down.
Oh,
and he kept trying to get her money down.
With the agent,
And he
yeah.
kept saying, Jane Fonda's going to do it. And the agent's like, all right, let me see what I can do.
Yeah, right.
And then she calls back and he goes, she'll do it. He goes, all right. By the way, Jane Fonda was never interested. Just always.
I'm telling you, this guy. But, Bill Friedkin, the great director who I worked with, said to me, he said, Bob Evans, at that time, had the greatest movie mind of anyone he's ever seen.
Wow.
Well, it's banger after banger.
And he took risks.
baby.
It was like, yeah, people were saying that this isn't
when
the
they
right
did
move.
Love
Yeah.
Story, again, you guys are too young for that, but if you've seen it later, when he did Love, they said, the girl can't die. The studio's going, the girl can't die at the end. How can you say Love Story and the girl dies? And they didn't want to do it. And they got to shoot another ending. And Bob Evans said, fuck you, the girl dies. He goes, there won't be a dry eye in the house. That's the movie. It's the love they had for each other. And he got his way, and you know what? He was right.
Yeah.
OJ said the same thing. Yeah, I mean, Rosemary's Baby's a weird movie. Who would have saw that would be a hit?
You know what?
He saw it.
I always said when somebody talks like what about OJ, who I met, who I knew. But anyway, I always said, and I again, I'm not a comic, guys, but I always said like around the dinner table when they were like Thanksgiving, who's going to cut the turkey? Did everybody get a little like? I'll let OJ cut it.
He's got the knife.
I always thought about that. Like,
He puts on the glove. The glove fits. Yeah.
I give the knife to OJ. Let it go.
Yeah.
I'm not talking too much.
No, you're
No, you're great.
By the way, I don't think I love the idea that OJ's having big Thanksgivings. We're going to OJ's.
We're going to
Come to OJ.
Yeah.
No, this is amazing. No, we're fascinated.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I love hearing these
No, I just
stories.
got after all these years, I got so many stories.
We want to hear them
Yeah.
all.
I
I
love
love them.
Hollywood.
I actually I would love to hear certain lines that happen in A Bronx Tale that I'm so fascinated by. One is like now you can't
Now
leave.
you can't.
Like who came up with that?
Sonny.
Son-
I
yeah.
didn't. No.
Oh wow.
I was
Really?
there.
So you
I
were
was sitting at the bar when he said it.
Wow.
Oh wow. So that
Great
At
scene.
the bar when he said
yeah.
it.
So that was an actual.
That was a real fight.
Oh, that was real.
Wow.
I
Wow.
didn't embellish that. And I'll never forget it because he was very nice to them because they walked in and they spoke very nice when they walked in, I have to be honest. And they said, we've been on the road. You know, they said, we just want a few beers. And Sonny was a good guy. And he just said, give them their beers. So they gave their beer. And as soon as he walked away, like in the movie, they shook it and splashed it. But in real life, they didn't do that. They just said, hey, man, till you guys, guineas or something. And they just turned the bottles upside down.
Wow.
They just turned the bottles up and they drenched the whole bar and the floor. And they all were laughing, you know. And then I was like, oh, shit.
You were there for that?
I was on the end stool.
Wow.
And Sonny walked over to him and said, listen, you know, I try to be like a gentleman. You guys took advantage of me. It's not really nice. You know, now you got to leave. Very nicely. And he was like arrogant because they were breaking up bars all around in the Bronx. And they said, fuck you. We ain't leaving. He said something about their colors. You see them colors, Guinea or something like that. And then he said, you fucking make us leave. And I'm just like, oh, shit. And I see.
Were you worried for them at all?
I was looking for a place to go under because I knew any moment the shit was going to happen. I know if guns were going to come out or anything. And he just looked at him, shook his fucking head and walked over. Actually, in the movie he walks over. In real life, he just told the guy, he went. In real life, he just went like that, and the guy just walked over, pulled down the shade. Had this big black shade in the front window when they were doing shit. I love it. And then locked the door, and Sonny just looked at him and looked back at him. He said, "Now you just can't leave."
No. Wow. There it is.
Such a good scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good-looking Sicilian.
See, in the movie, I did it. How did we?
Oh, really?
Well, we liked Come Together because we thought it was very
ironic.
But we called Bob De Niro called up and they wanted $450,000 for 40 seconds. So then Bob called Michael Jackson and Michael gave it to us for $250,000. All right. And then the reason why the original song we had during the fight was "Born to Be Wild." Born to be, and you know, and Bob was like, you know what? I might be. He says there might be two on the head, two on the nose, and I said, yeah, you might be right, Bob. So then we were talking, we were laughing. I said, why don't we go the opposite way, like a ballad or something?
Yeah.
I said, and then I don't know, it was one of us. I don't remember who came up with it, but the Book of Love, one, and because we figured we play against the comedy, and it worked. Opportunity to show how fucking worthy they are.
Yeah.
And it was like letting fucking like wild boars out of a cage.
Wow.
You know,
man.
and they decimated them. After they threw them out, the thing that got me was they were yelling like Sonny saying, get their bikes, get their bikes. Their bikes are like God to them.
Yeah.
They had the bats and they busted the fucking bikes.
Wow.
Damn. Man, oh man.
I mean, it was like you fuck with us. You fuck with us. If you want to fuck with us, you better come back and you better kill us.
Yeah.
Right.
He said to him, look at my face. I want to make sure you know who fucking did this. My name's Sonny, and I'm the guy who did it to you.
Oh, wow.
This is another level, guys,
Yeah.
of fucking extreme prejudice like you've never seen.
Man, well, they're not going to come back.
No, they never did.
This won't get reported either, which is kind of nice. They're not going to go to the police because they're held.
Yeah, what was the cop situation back in the neighborhood where cops just like, I mean, I assume Sonny kept the neighborhood safe like in the
Absolutely.
movie.
They love Sonny.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Sonny, there was no drugs there.
Right.
It was like gambling, loan sharking, you know, numbers, 3 to 2 to 1, you know.
There's some guns, though.
It was guns.
But, you know.
It was the kids, but that's why Sonny didn't want no guns. That's why there's that scene when he smacks that guy Zero and he says, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
He said, you're going to get us pinched around here. You know, he keeps gambling and loan sharking, and he's making a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Did Sonny die the way you portrayed him dying in
Yes,
real life?
he did.
Wow.
But I didn't see it. In the movie, I see it. I got there just after he died. I got there maybe 20 minutes, an hour, maybe half hour later, and he was already dead. So, and there was the guy. So I just embellished that scene.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you take life.
Liberties, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really see how.
But these are all real events.
Right.
Yeah.
These are events.
Well,
that
similar to comedy. I mean, we do an hour. It's all Gary just put out a new special. It's all, every one of your jokes, even though they're one-liners and misdirects.
Yeah.
It's all real. It's
Yeah,
all
there's truth, and then it goes some. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the best comedy, you know, is that real?
Right.
You know, when you're talking about that, I was, people go, was Bronx still your first break? I said it was my first big break. My first break is when I got an agent, and that was in 1980 and 83. Before I was living here, and I got a part, and I was understudying on Broadway. And it was great. An agent saw me, I got signed. And so now I go back to my neighborhood. I haven't made it yet, but I told all my friends, I'm going to be on Broadway. I'm going to be on fucking Broadway. You know, it's very exciting for a young man.
Sure.
So the wise guys come over to me. The guy at the end of the movie, Carmine, you saw him?
Yeah.
So he comes over to me and goes, hey, come here, see. I hear you're going to be on Broadway. I go, yeah. He goes, we want to come and see you. We'll go, all the guys.
Oh,
come and see you. I said, no, I was okay with that. I said, great. They go, when are you going to tell us? Can we come on the weekend? I said, no. I said, you can't come on the weekend. He says, why not? I said, well, I'm an understudy. And he goes, what the fuck's an understudy? They don't, you know. So I said, well, if something happens to the real guy...
Oh, you don't say that to these guys.
Not realizing...
Something should happen.
Not realizing what I just said, because I said it as an actor.
Yeah.
No, if something happens to the guy, he gets sick or something, then I go on. So, and that was it. I walked away and I was talking to my friends at the bar. 3 minutes later, he walks over to me. And he goes, hey, Chazz, come here. You know, they grab your elbow. They go, come here. You know, they give you the elbow walk. It's called the elbow walk, you know. And he walked me over, so I knew something was up. I go, yeah, what's up? He goes, you want to go on?
No.
So I say to him, I go, I'm sorry, what do you mean? He goes, come on, you want to go on? I go, on where? He goes, Broadway. Then I realized what he said. I said, no, you can't do that. You can't, I can't be involved in that. You can't do that. He goes, don't worry, we'll make it look like a mugging. He goes, nobody's going to know. It looked like a mugging. 2-3 weeks, he's in the fucking hospital.
Hey, break a leg.
All right? So I said,
2-3 weeks.
Please. I said, please promise me you won't do this, please. And he said, all right, I won't do it. So that night, I go to the theater. Now, as an understudy, you have to watch every performance because you got to go on, you know. So I'm sitting there, and the understudy, the guy, was such an asshole to me through the whole run. And I'm sitting back there, Sam, and I'm going like this. You don't know how fucking lucky you are. I said, you are fucking lucky. I'm a nice guy. I said, because right now you'd be in the hospital. And I never forgot that, man.
Oh.
But that's real life.
Yeah. And that actor was Stephen Hawking.
So before you got here, Gary was telling us about some stories about his father, who was a con man.
Right.
Did you ever run across any con men in your early days? And how were they treated by the wise guys? Con men?
They were all con men.
Yeah.
They were all actors. We had a guy, Gary the Thief. You know,
we call him.
Yeah, it's a little on the nose.
Gary this is in the 60s, bro. Remember the gold, you know, they used to have gold chains. Everybody had. So what he would do is, he got an overcoat. So he robbed a dummy out of Sears Roebuck. It was called Sears Roebuck then. He took the arm off the dummy and he put it in the overcoat, sewed it in, and got a glove and sewed it onto the dummy. He put the overcoat on with one arm and then closed it and walked into the store. And back then, they didn't really have cameras, but they would watch you. And he'd walk in and the guy would put gold change. So as the guy put gold change, Gary would be like this. He'd be looking at him. And if you watch him, you would see his hand and the other hand here. His other hand, he would put through the coat.
Whoa.
He would put through the coat and just take the gold change.
Wow.
I mean, you can't. These guys were geniuses.
Yeah.
I love how on the nose all the nicknames were too. It'd be like Gary the Thief. What does he do? Well,
They were all
Nailed
con men, man. They would. There was this other guy, Jimmy, my friend Jimmy Scalen, God rest his soul, he's dead. But he would rob for you. He would go, but he goes, I'm different. I'm a different thief. He goes, we go shopping together. We walk up Fordham Road. You see something in the window. You say, I want that. I give it to you for a third. We go, how are you going to do that? Don't worry, just let me handle it. and you walk away, he comes walking down. You steal it somehow, and you pay him a third.
Damn, man,
Unbelievable.
Amazing.
it's so simple.
So simple. Just come shopping with me, pick it out, and I'll give it to you.
Was there anything they looked down upon? They're like, we don't do that. Like, that's the type of crime we don't mess with.
Drugs were a big one, right?
There were drugs there. No, there were a lot of, with drugs, and they were both there. But a funny drug story. They're all dead, so I guess I don't want to say their names. But I walk by and I see this one guy, Nicki. He's sitting there on a
Nicki drug dealer.
Nick in the attic.
He's sitting there, and there's two addicts on each side of him, like this. My friend, this guy Roy, and this guy Charlie, and they're going, "Come on, Nicki, you can do it." And they got ice, and they're putting it on his, because he OD'd, and they're putting it down his balls. And I said, "Holy shit, they got to take this guy to the hospital. He's going to fucking die."
Yeah.
Come on, Nicki, come on, you can do it. You can do it. Right. All of a sudden, I see this. And I'm watching, I go, fuck. I said, Nicki's going to die. And all of a sudden, he opens his eyes and he goes, he wakes up and he goes, wow, that was some good shit. I'm saying to myself, you almost fucking died.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. But here's the caveat. I come back later, Roy's in the fucking middle. And they got ice on him. I said, you can't be doing this. Are you kidding? Are you fucking kidding me?
Holy shit.
You just saw your friend almost die, and you take it? Are you fucking kidding?
Must be good stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. Gee.
Crazy.
By the way, my wife's cookies, great stuff.
Good.
No, I mean, that's like crazy shit.
Yeah.
Man.
Other than Bronx Tale, what movie do you get recognized for the most?
The Usual Suspects.
Yeah,
Of course.
That was classic.
Oh, man.
Well, Bullets Over Broadway, of course. And also Analyze This.
Yeah, that was great.
Yep.
Analyze
That, you had some great scenes with De Niro in that too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a funny movie.
That's a funny movie.
Very funny.
And Bob was great in that. I thought he was. And he was skeptical about doing that because he said, I don't want to make fun of the characters I play. And I said, Bob, I'll never forget it when I read it. I said, Bob, if you play this part, you and Jim Carrey are going to be fighting over parts.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. And he was great in that.
And also Joe Vitarelli, right? From
Joe Vitarelli, great.
He was so funny in that too. Yeah.
Joe Vitarelli was great in that, man.
No.
Yeah, there they are, yeah.
How was Kevin Spacey? He killed
Yeah.
that role.
Well, in that scene, like, I mean, you're talking to him. Yeah.
Kevin was. I did 2 movies with Kevin.
Yeah.
One of the greatest actors I ever worked with.
Oh, he's incredible.
Kevin in obviously Hurly Burly, he was brilliant, and he was brilliant in The Usual Suspects. The funny thing about The Usual Suspects, I was going on another movie, so I only had 10 days to shoot Usual Suspects. I said, look, I could do it, but I only got like 8 days to give you. And they said, we'll figure it out. So what they did was the first 8 days of the shoot, they put me and Kevin Spacey in a room, and we did all our scenes.
Oh, really?
Right. That's what I was going to ask, if it was all
We
just
just
there.
did
Yeah.
all our scenes, and then I left, and then they started the whole movie.
Did you know this was going to be a cult classic when you were making it?
No. We all said it's really unique.
Yeah.
And it's really different. And if he could put this on screen, what we're reading, it'll be brilliant. And he did.
So you knew the ending and everything?
Yes.
Like you knew, okay.
Well, I guess you have to because
Yeah, he gets the...
the mug dropping is so
mug.
iconic. I mean, we talk about this movie that spoofs it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
The Accused.
Right.
Yeah,
Leslie
it cracks me up. Yeah.
Oh, they spoofed it.
Yeah,
right?
they spoofed it.
Oh, it's one of the great endings.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the great endings.
And then we'll do and wrongfully, yeah.
And people always ask me, did you know? I said, listen, I'm in the fucking movie, and I don't know who it was.
Really? Oh, so you didn't know? You didn't know that?
Everybody thought, till this day, Gabriel Byrne still says, I was Kaiser Sosa. And I go, Gabriel,
Bitch.
babe,
That's
it wasn't
awesome.
you.
It was Spacey.
It was Spacey.
In what world does he believe that? That's crazy.
They all thought they were.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was so crazy. Man.
I mean, it's so amazing.
Young
What a
Benicio.
great cast.
Yeah, young
Pollock.
Stephen Baldwin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen this? It's just,
Oh, this is just so...
I never saw this.
Oh, it's
Really?
great.
Oh, you'll love the
Leslie
scene.
Nielsen's never not funny.
Some great jokes in this. Is that Don Johnson?
That's good shit, man.
You gotta
Yeah.
ask. You're in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
right?
No.
Oh,
It's
shit.
Joe Montana. Come on.
Sorry. He looks like you in The Simpsons.
No. I think.
But that's my.
Well, there's
No,
this
I've
story.
done a lot of voiceovers, but not the same.
Okay,
But they do
sorry.
a Bart episode that kind of feels like a Bronx Tale ripoff a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? The Fat Tony, the original one, does feel like
Oh,
they're
the Fat
kinda doing,
Tony.
they're kind of doing
Oh,
Bronx.
Bronx Tale has been, but I take it as an homage.
Of course.
I don't. It doesn't
Of
bother
course.
me at all.
Yeah, Bart the Murderer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't bother me at all, man.
All right.
I get off on that.
How do you feel about a guy like Spacey not being able to work anymore?
Well,
back.
you know, he's a great actor. You know, people don't realize. Look, I don't know obviously any details, but all I know is he was acquitted.
Yep.
That I know. He was acquitted. He's never been convicted. And all I can say about that time in Hollywood, a lot of people were getting like really killed. And they were putting, the problem was if you did a little something, whatever it was, they would put you in the, you know, where you were like one of the worst.
Bad guy.
Yeah.
You guys all together.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so I think, I hope one day that he gets back. I think he deserves to be back. I think he's a brilliant actor. And I think it was a rough time in Hollywood, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
What would
I
his
agree.
mob nickname be, Mark?
What was it? What's that?
What would his mob
Kevin the
nickname?
Touchy?
Oh, there's
He is a great actor.
Al's great, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What a hunk.
He always has a different
Yep.
70s movie on his screen. shot.
Always.
It's always Dog Day.
Because he looks like he's
Long Goodbye
from the
or something.
70s.
And I said to Al once, I said, Al, what's the secret to your longevity? And he said, my hair.
He does have a full head of hair still.
That's
guess
what he said.
Things aren't looking good for me. I'm out.
He died next
He
week.
said my hair.
De
No,
Niro, too.
He's a great guy, great actor, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
You know, the bigger you are, I believe a lot of big stars, they're just great guys. You know, it's the people who are not really stars, but they're like pissed off they're not. Same thing with comics.
Yep.
Yeah.
The ones that want to be really think they should be up here, but they're not. They're angry. Just
Right.
like comics are angry. Well, comics are the most angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cynical.
Yeah. I mean, whenever, because a lot of my friends are comics, and if I come up with something funny, they'll never laugh. They'll just go, that's funny.
Right. We're numb inside.
You know.
Yes.
They'll say to you, that's funny.
Right.
Who are you friends with? You're friends with Chris Stallone.
Oh,
right?
Chris DeStefano.
Yeah,
And
Chris.
you did his sitcom.
I did a sitcom.
You-
I
you
played
played
his father.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Chris is hilarious. Like,
So-
Chris is
love
great.
Chris.
And I think there's you guys, and I seen. Listen, I'm fans of you guys too.
Hey!
Thanks, man.
Your comedy specials. No. Those were great on your comedy set. Funny, man. Those are funny bits.
Well, now as you can't leave.
No, I saw that when you did. I was watching some of the podcasts. I saw that when you did about the Greek. I thought that was very funny. A Greek restaurant, the woman ordered a muffin. She,
Oh,
she read the thing. And I found that so hysterical.
that was in Greece. A woman was like mad she couldn't get a muffin. I'm like, you're in fucking Greece.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck you want to? I was living in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands in the 70s.
Wow.
And we would go to this place, you know, and order food, and they would fuck up the order every day. But I mean, fuck it up to the point you would order a piece of chocolate cake, they bring you a hamburger. Not even close.
Right.
And we were sitting there one day. This is a funny story. We're sitting there one day, and we're like laughing. I was a singer. I was in a rock band back then, and we were laughing. We were talking with each other, and this guy walks in. You could tell he was a guy, 2 kids, guy from Manhattan. He goes, excuse me, I'd like to order a pastrami sandwich. And the guy's like, yeah, okay. And he goes, I want a pastrami sandwich. I'll never forget it. On rye. On rye. Could you heat the bread? I want it sliced paper thin. Slice the pickle. And make sure you don't toast.
Sounds like a Jew, by the way.
I don't want to say, but he was. And he said, and all of a sudden the guy looks at him and goes, and he turns to the microphone and he goes, one pastrami. That was the guy got up and walked out the door.
Wow. I'm never going to a brothel in St. Thomas.
You ordered the cock, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that was, oh my God.
I went to St. Thomas. I will say the food was not great,
No, it wasn't.
but, you know, it's beautiful.
No, it's gorgeous, but, you know, mostly alcoholics who live there.
Oh, yeah. That's why I was there.
You know,
It was fun.
mostly alcoholics.
It's like Key West. It's all alcoholics.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Exactly like Key West. Exactly. No, I love comedy. I love stand-up comics because I think that's the hardest of all the art forms. I really do, truthfully, because because if you do your bit once on television, all right, now I got to do it again.
Brand new.
I got to do it again. To me, again, I'm a lot older than you guys. My favorite comic of all time was Richard Pryor.
Sure.
Yeah.
I always like people who break barriers, and I thought Pryor at that time broke the barrier.
Yeah.
Of what's funny and what's a joke and what's real life that's funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
And George Carlin too, in a way.
Definitely.
But I just thought Pryor was great, and
well, to make that divorce funny, where he leaves his wife's house with the car, and he was all high on coke, and he freebasing coke. He shoots the car tires. To make all that so funny,
Yeah.
I mean, that was in the news. That's kind of like the Will Smith slap or Mulaney going to rehab.
Yeah.
Like he did it back then in '77.
70s, nobody did that.
Nobody did
And
that.
to talk when he set himself on fire.
Yes.
That was his closer. He uses the closer.
Right.
He said he was running down the street and some bum said, "Hey, you got a light?"
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
That shit is funny, man.
Yeah, and cops, they don't shoot cars. They shoot.
Yeah, I mean, that shit. So he was and I knew Robin really well.
Oh, sure.
And I thought Robin was great. I mean, I used to say, wow, who could follow Robin Williams, man? I mean,
No.
how do you follow that guy, even if you're great?
The only person who followed him was the drug dealer. The next
No,
gig.
I really like, and the comics of today, I mean, all you guys are great. But I mean, it's harder for you guys because you got to be fun. You're like strapped because you got to watch out for cancel culture. You can't do this, you can't do that. I mean,
well,
I think it's switching back. It's swinging back.
swing about, and it helps.
I think it
helps a
swinging
little.
Yeah.
You know what comic I was in the Comedy Cellar and I saw this comic there and I seen him a bunch of times.
Gary Vider?
He's really not a household name, but I thought
Yeah.
I thought he was great. Was Dave Attell?
Oh, Attell is unbelievable.
I guy in New York.
I thought his humor was
He's
brilliant.
literally all of
Brilliant.
our heroes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, he is?
I mean, he's like our favorite.
Yeah.
I thought he was brilliant, and one of my favorite comics, who makes me fucking laugh, who I think is brilliant, is Colin Quinn.
We had him
yeah.
last week.
Yeah,
Actually, Colin and I at the Cellar the other night, we were talking about how Bullets Over Broadway is our favorite Woody Allen comedy. I mean, Annie Hall too, but it's like
Annie Hall's
for
great.
laugh out loud, Bullets Over Broadway just gets me, man.
It's so funny.
There's so many funny lines in it.
You know what's funny about Woody is Woody, you know, he would allow some people to improvise and some people not. So he would always tell me, Chazz, you know, just go. And I said, I know, Woody, but what you wrote is funny, you know. And he goes, all right, say it, but we'll do one like that, then you just go. I said, okay. So the scene where I kill Olive, and that was all. He said, you do your thing. I said, when I'm walking, I'm in the car with him. I go, yeah, it's a moonlight cruise. That was all improv, you know.
When you say, by the way, you're a terrible fucking actress.
The actual line was, Sam, the actual line was, Olive, you're not ready for Broadway. And then I shoot her. And then I did that. I said, Woody, can I say something else? He goes, say whatever you want, Chazz. So I walk over there and she goes, I'm about to kill her. I go, Olive, something you have to know. You're a terrible actress.
So much funnier.
And then I kill her and then I walk away and I go, that fucking voice, like a knife in my heart. He just loved it. And then Diane Weiss kept saying through the movie, don't speak, don't speak. So I said to Woody, Woody, I want to say that line, don't speak. He goes, you can't say the line. That's her line. I said, I know, but I want to say that line. He goes, it doesn't fit. You can't say that line. Okay, so finally cut to the end of the movie. I do the scene where I get shot and I fall down. And he comes on top of me, John Cusack. And I go, Sylvia Poston, say she was pregnant, make a great ending. And I die. I do it like Woody wanted. So then I go, Woody, can I? He goes, we got it. That's a wrap. That was great. I go, please, let me do one more. He goes, we got it. I go, Woody, I'm begging you, one more. And he goes, okay. We shoot again. I lay down, and he's just about to speak, John Cusack, and I go, don't speak. Don't speak. And I put my head down at the end, after I say it, after I tell him about Sylvia Poston, and then I die. And
Yeah.
fucking Woody looks at me and goes, like, you son of a bitch. And you know what? He kept it in.
Wow. That's so cool.
He kept it in.
Wait,
He seems
what
to have
year
a
is
soft
this?
spot for gangsters. Woody does.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Very much.
I wonder what that is. That he's enamored with it for some reason.
I don't know. That's a very, he does have a soft spot.
Like what's another movie that he has?
Oh well, Small Time Crooks was
Yeah.
one.
Small Time
But
Crooks.
also
Broadway Danny Rose.
Broadway Danny Rose.
Great one.
The other
Planet
one was,
Film for him soon.
Yeah.
yeah.
Great film.
Do you remember in Annie Hall, the guy's like, "Hey, Alvie Singer over here."
That happened, you know.
That
That
happened?
happened. He told me, he goes, "Hey, yeah, I saw you on the Johnny Carson." That happened to him, and he put it in.
What I think so beautiful about that is like, when what's her name shows up. What's her name? Diane.
Thank you.
Diane Keaton shows up. And he's like, "Thank God you arrived. I'm with the cast of The Godfather over here." She's in The Godfather.
That's right.
Good catch.
That's awesome.
Damn.
Wow. You know, I never caught that.
Never
Thank
caught
you.
that either.
Me neither.
Was she in The Godfather at the time?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, she's
It was
the first one.
after
And
The
second.
Godfather.
Like
No, I'm
5
saying,
years
but that
ago.
was
She was in Godfather 1.
But when was Annie Hall? That was
76.
70.
Oh, that was 76.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Good
That's
catch.
crazy.
Never realized that.
Cast of The Godfather.
He must have
over here.
known. I mean,
I wonder.
Obviously.
I wonder if he realized. He had to.
He had.
Yeah.
I think it's probably part of the joke.
No, Woody he's a classic, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great comic.
Great.
And that, you know, it's
it
like
was amazing.
Still holds up.
You know,
Yeah.
his stand-up, I was listening, because I tell you, I'm a fanatic with stand-up. I love to listen. And I listened to one of his stand-ups on record, and he was doing he goes, yeah, I came from a very poor home. He goes, we went to a handicap place to get a pet. My dog stuttered. You know, I thought it was funny, you know, and I said, this is funny shit. You know.
He goes, I go to a rabbi. He's reformed. He's a Nazi.
No, he's great.
He's great.
I love Woody, man. Woody is, you know, I've been very fortunate. I worked with a lot of great directors and actors over the years. You know.
Yeah, I read his biography. Stage fright. His manager had to literally push him on stage. He would throw up and everything. He just did not want to be in front of
I
people.
know a lot of actors who are great actors who have that. Who have that, you know, and I never had that.
I wonder if the stage fright, I mean, especially for Woody, I mean, when he goes out there, that helps him. Just being, you know, it's like you use that and it kind
Makes you
of
present.
He's
Yeah.
probably more comfortable on stage, on camera, than he is off camera.
Right.
He is. I mean, I was flying with him to on a private jet with him and his wife and me and was my wife? Yes, my wife was with me at the time, and he was. And through the thing about him was he reads all the time. You never see him without his face in a book. And I thought I was going to be able on the private plane to talk to him. You know, to say, well, when you did this, tell me about it. Because I'm a fanatic about film and about history and I want to know everything, every story. But I really didn't talk with him a lot on the plane because he read and I didn't want to interrupt him, you know.
Yeah.
And he was like that, so I didn't want to bother him. But I think he reads because he gets ideas. Think about it.
He's on Epstein's plane. He's like, will you put the book down? I want a story.
Think about it. He's editing one movie, while he's shooting another movie
yeah.
and writing another.
I don't understand how that even works. It's so much stuff.
Do that.
Yeah.
He's probably the most prolific filmmaker of our lifetime.
And, you know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sometimes, so I did. I said to him, I go, Woody, you know, I got to be honest. So a few times I did get a chance to talk with him. I said, how do you judge all the work? I said, you're going to be probably directed 80, 90 movies by the time.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, Chazz, I look at it this way. If I direct 80 movies, 90 movies, he goes, all I care about, maybe 10 will be great. They'll say it's great. Maybe another 20 will be, they're good. Maybe another 20 will be like, they were okay. And maybe another 20 will suck. He goes, it's not about that. He goes, you just put it out there. You put it out there and let time and art judge it.
Interesting.
It's funny. One of the things I read back when he was doing stand-up would say that he would say a new joke on a Saturday night because that's the best time to do it because it was a packed house. Try that new joke right in the middle of your set to really get a good reaction, and the only way you know it if it's going to work is in that setting.
That makes
right
sense.
There. Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. Do you ever have a joke? You say, you know, this is a great bit, and you do the bit, and it bombs for whatever reason. Do you ever-
Well, we could think it's a great bit, but if it just never works, is it a great bit?
But do you try it again, but different? You rewrite it?
Yeah,
we tried.
He's
something
the
there.
king of that. Mark will hone a joke to death.
Yeah.
He will. You don't give up on bits.
No.
I had one actually I ran by you years ago that I think I just got to hit over.
Hey.
Yeah. It's funny how some bits come back. They stick in the back of your mind.
The premise of the joke was basically like, I say, if you're a guy in a relationship, you think you should always be able to have sex, and your girlfriend will say, like, I look at sex in a relationship like Wi-Fi. We should always be able to get on. And the woman is like, well, I don't owe you sex. I'm like, yeah, but you're my only provider.
Oh,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Perfect, yeah.
So then what do? You take her out to dinner. That's like customer service, right?
Oh,
Turn them on. So then,
great.
That's like the reset. They say reset your router. So while you're out at dinner, you're like, are you turned on yet? And because if you're not, I think I'm gonna have to try to steal my neighbors.
Oh,
Maybe twist the neighbors.
Right.
Ran
good stuff.
that by you fucking maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and it was just in a Word doc. I'm like, I gotta try it. So I was in Lexington, and I was like, try it, hit, bomb a bunch in between, but I got that one, I think.
Right.
There you
I'll
go.
tweak the neighbor part, but it's something there.
Yeah, that's great.
I
Killer.
learned that when I was with this group called the New York Comedy Plays in the 70s, and we were an improv group. And there was this bit, Tom Wilson, I'll never forget, he passed on. He was a great actor and a great writer, and he passed on of AIDS. A great, wonderful actor. And he wrote this bit about Marlon Brando was a acting teacher. And I played Brando, and he was the student. And
Not that
he wrote
Tom.
this, and I
Was
said,
it that Tom Wilson from Biff? No.
And I said, Tom, this is not funny.
Yeah.
I don't think, so we did it and it bombed. And then we did it again and he goes, let me rewrite it. He rewrote it and we did it again and it was like, it was a little funnier. Do you know this fucking guy kept working on it and he actually made it funny? And I never forgot that. As a writer myself, I said, sometimes you got to just hang in there.
Yeah.
And there are times you just got to let it go.
Well, this is what I don't get is when Hollywood says that something's not good, they'll be like, and they'll give you notes on something, and then it'll be like, all right, this isn't going to work. But it's like, we just rewrote it. We could rewrite it again, the same idea that, got this meeting. So why can't we come back to the same idea?
No.
They don't understand the process of all right, maybe this doesn't work, but we could get it to work.
Get it to work.
Yeah.
But that's why stand-up's
Keep on owning
great,
it.
because no one gets in our way.
Right.
Except the
That's
audience
right, yeah.
is it.
But the
They tell us
audience
what's
is a
good.
part of the editing, which is like,
Of course.
it's collaborative. It's kind of awesome that
Right.
I did 5 shows in Kentucky over the weekend, and one of the door guys was like, I see that you're making notes throughout the show. I was like, yeah, you have to, but it's fun. It's like exciting to go up there and kind of bomb a little bit because you know what you're bombing for a reason. You're not just bomb. You're doing it to get to the jokes.
It's a puzzle. You get better every time.
Yeah. I remember when I did a movie with Chris Rock, who I know very well. Great comedy.
It was kind of like a redo of the Burt Reynolds one, Heaven Can Wait, right?
Yes.
Down to Earth.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, Down to Earth was, yeah.
And I said to him once, I said, Chris, I remember we were eating lunch. And I said, did you ever bomb? He goes, everybody bombs. Like it was fascinating to me the way he said it. He goes, we all bomb.
Yeah.
Everybody bombs. So I said, well, what's the main thing a comic's got to, because I'm intrigued about comedians. I said, what's the main thing comics got to learn? And he said to me, he goes, I'll never forget, he says, don't be afraid of the silence.
Ooh.
He said, don't be afraid of the silence. Just go. And I was fascinated with that when because I love the art form and I always like to learn it,
Well, he's one of our favorites. We all love Chris Rock.
Yeah.
And I used to see him go up at the cellar and he would bring a legal pad and he would get silenced the whole time. And I remember being a young comic like, that's weird. It's like one of my heroes is bombing for 20 minutes.
Right.
And then I would see him the next night killing with the same material because he added something to it. He added a little more energy to it. He had his delivery down. And that was a big learning experience for me.
But Rock at the Cellar is my favorite because it's him. He's not doing the performance really. He's just trying the joke. So it's like bare bones Rock. Where it's awesome to see him in a theater and arena too. But like at the Cellar, it's so cool to see a comic like that, his mind at work, because he's so good with current events, with social commentary, and he's so good at appealing to the entire country. Which is kind of lost now.
Good point.
To do social commentary in a way where like everyone is laughing.
Well, he had such a good angle. I remember he had a joke years ago, decades ago, about Hillary Clinton running. I guess it was decades, but it was a while ago when she was running. And he was like, hey, Hillary Clinton, why would you want to work at a place you got cheated on? If I got cheated on at Red Lobster, I wouldn't go want to work at Red Lobster. And I was like,
That's brilliant.
but that's a take everyone can get behind. But it's about a presidential candidate. But it's really about relationships, and that's the genius of Chris Rock.
Yeah, I mean, we were having lunch one day, and John Kennedy just died in the plane crash.
Junior,
and I said to him, I said, "Wow," I said, "Chris," I said, "What the fuck? You got all that money? I mean, just hire a fucking pilot." And I really meant it. I was really. I didn't mean to be. I didn't want.
That's funny.
I said, "You got all that money? Hire a fucking pilot. What's the big deal?" And without missing a fucking beat, we're eating, and he said, "Chazz, all you got to do is walk across the street. There's an airport with his fucking name on it."
That's fucking great. Unbelievable.
That's hilarious.
That's what he said. He said, "You know, when he died, we all got a little bit cuter."
Handsome man.
Yeah.
If I was gay, if I was going gay, I'd go JFK
no.
Jr.
That's the most handsome man you ever fucking
Unbelievable.
saw.
Gorgeous.
I was like 10 when he died. I was like, that's a hot guy.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a photo of him shirtless.
Yeah, I mean,
with
he
it's
came
pretty
over
amazing.
to me at a restaurant. No, the maid of came over and said, "John Kennedy would like to meet you. He's a big fan of yours." And I said, "He wants to meet me?" I go, "Yeah." He wants to come over. I go, "Yeah." So he came over and I stood up and I shook his hand. I looked at him. I go, "This motherfucker is perfect." I mean, his hair had hair.
Beautiful head of hair.
I mean,
thick, black head of
gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I mean, you know, I was like, "Oh my god."
Is that his son? Who's that kid?
This is
No, he didn't have a kid.
a grandson.
Gay grandson.
All right. So there's
Mark,
hope.
here's
There's
your
hope for me.
chance.
Coming to HBO Max.
Yeah.
Johnny the Homo. All right. Well, look at that guy on the left. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good
I can't
looking
believe
guy.
he settled down. Look at that guy with his shirt off.
Well, they
chain.
were having problems. Him and the wife,
but
right,
you know,
leading
he
up
would
to it.
he would be running for president.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd vote for him.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got to vote for him just on looks alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you do.
Really?
Look
Come
at
on.
that. The shark fin tooth.
QAnon still
I
thinks
mean,
he's
is
alive.
there anything that's wrong with the guy?
Yeah. Good looks get you a long way.
Sounds
Look
like
at
a
me.
Gay show. I mean, not for nothing, guys. This sounds like a
man.
gay
He's
show.
perfect.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
He's a 10. Everybody take off your pants.
You know what's funny about when growing up in my neighborhood? When you grew up in my neighborhood, if you said, "Oh yeah, you know that guy Joey, yeah, you know he's not. Hey, that guy's a good-looking guy."
Right. Yeah.
You would get this.
Yeah.
You know, suck his dick. What do
Yeah.
Yeah.
you want to do?
Yeah. Times have changed. Now it's
Yeah.
all about the gay jokes.
But statistically, somebody in that crew had to be gay. I
Yeah.
think. Statistically.
Most likely.
I don't know about that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
we've
I have a
definitely had a
que-
gay president.
Speaking of gay, you're making me think of The Sopranos now. Did The Sopranos ever hit you up to come on?
Oh,
Well,
Yeah.
it's a great story about The Sopranos. I was offered, I wasn't first to be offered, so let me clarify that. But I was offered in 1997 the role of Tony Soprano.
What?
whoa.
Wow.
But there were people ahead of me that got offered. Let me be honest. There was Ray Liotta was offered at first, and a few other people turned it down. Then they got to me, and again, and I said I couldn't do it at that time. I was making moves, and I read the script. I loved it. I thought it was a great pilot, but I just didn't want to do television at the time.
Sure.
So I said no, and eventually it went to the guy who should have been playing it all along was Jimmy Gandolfini, who was brilliant, who was the best Tony
Incredible.
that anybody could have been. And so after that, I just never got offered another part. I thought maybe David was upset with me, but I just couldn't do it at that time. And I was never on it. No.
Yeah, wow.
I think me and John Turturro, the only two Italians that were never on it.
Well, the kid who played you in the movie is on Sopranos.
He was on
true.
the spread.
Yeah.
Yeah, season 2.
Yeah.
I can't remember. He's got a super whoppy name. I can't remember his name.
Yes.
I'm half Italian.
Are you half Italian?
Yeah, well, half Sicilian.
Oh, come on. I'm 100% Sicilian.
Wow, that's,
Really? You half Sicilian?
Oh yeah,
Shit, man.
Everyone thinks you're Jewish, though.
I know.
Yeah.
Kentucky's like, Mark's not Jewish?
Yeah.
Well, I'm half French, and
Before you got here, you were saying he was half Jewish.
Well, it matters who.
Yeah.
Well, I'm half Jewish.
The rabbi came to my show in Kentucky, and he goes, Mark's not Jewish? I was like, not Jewish.
nah.
Everyone thinks you are.
But you're Jewish.
I am, yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone
same.
thinks
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jewish comics are great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why is it only? It's only. Well, it's more now. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I listened to, but maybe it's because of the time. I was listening to Freddie Prince's comedy Now I'm listening to it now, and it's not that funny now.
Doesn't hold up.
Am I wrong?
I don't really know.
I never got into it. I mean, he died 21, right?
It doesn't hold up.
But he was huge in the 70s.
Yeah,
right?
big. I mean, he was
no one did that before that.
He was cool and cute, but I wouldn't say it was super funny.
Like Richard Pryor's comedy still holds up.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah. Woody Allen.
Carlin Dangerfield.
Yeah. I asked Chris Rock once, I said, who do you think is the hardest person to follow? Who do you think is the hardest person to follow?
In Alive or in
Live?
Alive.
Jeez. I mean, the funny thing is, like, really famous guys at the Cellar aren't that hard to follow because they're usually coming to work out.
Right.
So that's like the only time we're really following them. So it would be someone that you maybe haven't heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know who he said? Dangerfield.
Oh.
interesting.
Chris said Dangerfield is the hardest guy to follow. He said he would come out and just tear the place up.
Wow.
But not that he was afraid to follow him. He would follow him. But
following Rock at the Cellar is great because I feel like the crowd's just in a great mood.
Yeah.
They're kind of like,
they're happy to see him.
They're like, oh shit, some of us are here on vacation. Now we're playing with house money. Like whoever, we're good. We're in a good mood.
So in other words, when you guys are working on your set, you know some of it's going to bomb, right?
If you're working out,
If you're working on it for a special.
Yes.
Okay. But that takes a lot of self-confidence to say, some of these people have never seen me before, but I'm willing to bomb in front of them for my art.
Yeah, it's the only thing we're confident in. Everything else
it's a mess.
Well, you got to have a lot of humility to
do
bomb. Yeah, and there's some comics who don't write and they just play the hits for years and they don't want to bomb and
short
they always
money.
kill, but it's short money and it's not a fulfilling life, I don't think.
Trying something new is very hard. I mean, you're in the middle of a set, it's going well, and you're like, here's the new one's coming up right now. Are they going to hate me and this is going to bomb right after? You know, is it too mean?
Right.
What? But you got to say it because then you got to figure it out.
Yeah. Yep. Here's the question I'd like to ask all three of you. It's funny. And that is, as a writer, if you have your whole bit, you know what you're going to close with. But the bit right before the last bit is so fucking funny, it tears the house down. Do you walk off then?
I've had this on The Tonight Show. The second to last bit killed, got an applause break, and I did the last bit, and it wasn't as good as the one before it, and I regretted it.
You know, it's funny. Every comic I speak to goes, nah, I got to do the end.
I did it. You got to do it.
They go, nah, me, I leave.
You push the luck, but at the same time in your head, you're thinking, damn, that was such a good bit that I just said. As you're saying that last bit, and you're hoping that it's going to be hard to top it, especially if that second bit killed.
A little, doesn't
it is.
It
is gambling.
Like, I could win another hand.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they say.
Yeah.
You guys have that thing, man. But that's what makes you who you are, man.
Roll the dice again.
And you want to share these bits, so it's like you like that one. Here's the last one. That I know is even better than that one.
Watch this one.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we do that. We are delusional. I mean, if I see a comic bombing on stage, I'm like, I'll get them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, it's like they're funny, but they're not resonating for some reason. I'll connect, and then you go up and bomb too. It's like sometimes it's the crowd, man. I went up at the Village Underground last night, and like I did fine, but I was like, they're not good. And I got off, and the host was like, they've been horrible all night, and I was like, all right.
Is a lot of it the audience, or is it you?
Mostly you. But it can
both,
be the audience,
it's
for
both.
sure.
Yeah.
If you're on the road and it's your crowd and you're bombing, it's you.
Right.
But if you're in like this comedy cellar, I think the crowd is usually great there. But it's
usually great there.
I've had a couple rough ones.
I think that
sometimes they don't speak English.
at the clubs where it's like you're like you guys where your fans aren't necessarily there just to see you. These people are coming to their first comedy show ever. It's like hitting a jukebox and hoping that you're going to like the song.
Ooh,
like they don't necessarily
know.
I mean, they're comedy fans, but are they a comedy? Are they going to be liking your comedy? You don't know.
Because comedy, unlike there's a blues club, there's a jazz club, there's a rock club.
Right.
Comedy is comedy club.
Comedy.
So it could be dirty, clean, props, sound effects, whatever, musical comedy. So that's the hard part of it. You got to be broad enough to hit everybody, but not also original at the same time.
Right. 'Cause I always tell people, listen, if you can make people laugh, that is an art.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, some comics are very clean. Look, Jerry Seinfeld is very clean, but he's very funny.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's very fucking funny.
But it's also tough with comedy because a fat guy falling down stairs my dad farting or a mentally challenged guy is funnier than me. I'm trying to be funny, writing shit
You actually
down.
just lost a weekend to a man.
Yeah. So that's what's hard about comedy. No fat guy farting is doing Beethoven, you know.
Right.
Or Led Zeppelin.
I always say, like, when people refer to stand-up as an art, I'm like, it's the only art form where the host is literally asking number 1 or number 2 as people are going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, is it an art form? You know? I mean, it's entertainment. I think we're entertainers. I think calling stand-up an art form, I love it, but like...
But that Wi-Fi joke, that's art.
That's art.
That fart guy, that's art.
I just think the word art sounds pretentious, and stand-up has to be I
agree.
Any of
I
that.
agree.
Like,
Yeah.
so a stand-up referring to themselves as an artist, you're like, there's no way that guy's going to be funny.
No,
You know what I mean?
100%.
I love when I write, because I obviously I write scripts, and I love writing funny stuff. And I'm one that if you get a stand-up guy, a lot of stand-up comics, I shouldn't say a lot, majority, some are not good actors. They're not. They're just not.
Ain't that the truth?
Some can make the switch. Some can.
Romano did it.
Ray Romano did it. Robin Williams did it.
Yes.
Richard Pryor did it. You know, some really can make the switch. Some can't. And for me, like sometimes you'll see him, you know he's laying on the joke and it's not him. He's not the character.
Right.
Thing, you know? So I'm always like wary of that. But if you get a stand-up comic who really is a good actor, boy, that's like writing Secretariat. I just want to, like I'm the jockey and I just want to write shit for him, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and if you could do it, and as a writer and as a director, if you could do it better than I gave it to you, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
In Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan picked Burr. He picked Lavelle Crawford because
Bill
like
Burr's
he
a
loved
terrific actor.
Yeah.
Act.
And Bill is funny as shit.
One of the best.
Bill is one of my favorite, man. He's like, and I know he gets mad when I say this, you know, Pryor.
Bill gets mad.
Well, he doesn't get mad, but he goes, he's very humble, but he's very great.
Yeah.
I thought the way he talks about women and domestic violence and gets away with it,
Brilliant.
and is still so fucking likable, is brilliant.
He's one of the best comics of all time.
Absolutely, he's like one of my favorite men, and so I go, holy shit, how does he get away with that?
Yeah. The writing.
Yeah.
It's the joke, it's the way he says it.
Yes.
But also, let me tell you something right now. People have an aura about them. You guys have an aura about them. Either you're likable or you're not.
Right.
That's something that you cannot change. I don't give a shit how good you are as an actor. If you're not likable, it's very hard to connect with that person.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at him going, I just don't like this fucking guy.
Yeah.
I don't care he's funny.
Yeah. We're working on it.
Yeah. No, I go on stage now. I have a joke that I'm working on about like people just don't like you when they just see that you're bald right away. Like they just see it and they just there's something about it.
But you're funny.
Yeah. Well, so I try and warm them up to that, and I'll be like, Putin, and people don't like him because he's bald. Like people will be like, somebody said like the other day, like I liked you more when you had hair. I was like, it was my wife Allie. Like it's like that. It's like just stuff like that where it's like, but it's like and there's some truth to it, but it also then warms them up. So you kind of need bits like that to like get them on your side.
Well, it's also showing that you're aware of what they're thinking.
Yeah,
which goes a long way with the crowd. You're perceptive.
Right. I really want to invite you guys. I hope you can come. Well, I know you're probably out of town, but June 13th, which is coming. That's right. I'm doing my one-man show, which is the movie. I do a Bronx.
Whoa.
I do a Bronx Tale on stage by myself. That's what I wrote, and I filmed it because I felt there was time for, to do it, and I'd love to invite all three of you with your wives and your girlfriend.
Sure.
If you can make it,
I would love to.
Great.
You're out of town.
If you
Am I?
can't,
Yeah.
if you can't,
yeah.
I'd love for you to see it because, again, it's not stand-up.
Yeah.
I actually do a movie on stage by myself.
Really?
And I play all 18 parts.
Whoa.
I play De Niro, the father, the kid.
I want to see this.
Yeah.
It's really,
Wow.
Chris is coming, Chris DiStefano. And
Oh, nice.
I think Colin's going to come. Colin saw it already. But if you could come and see it,
I would love to.
because again, it's something special to me.
Of course.
And it's the thing that made me, that broke me, made me a star.
Incredible.
And it's going to be at the Tribeca Film Festival, De Niro Con, June 13th.
Oh, wow.
For tickets, you can go. You guys don't need tickets, but for tickets, you can go to tribecafilm.com/DeNiroCon. Or
Beautiful.
they go to my website, ChazzPalminteri.net, or my Instagram, and all the information is on there.
Love it.
Or my podcast.
Yeah,
I'd love to have you guys as guests on my podcast.
I'd be honored. I'd love it.
I'm sorry I talk a lot.
We love it.
No, unbelievable.
I always go, I
This is awesome.
I tend to I talk like I just talk. You know what I mean?
that.
But you guys are great, man.
This is awesome.
Oh, you were great.
I love to pick up minds.
This is a great app.
All right.
Really.
Ooh, Chazz, you'll be in Naples, Florida?
Wow.
I was just trashing.
Yeah.
We were just trashing Naples.
That's Palm Beach.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Huntington.
I'm going to be at the. Oh God, I wish I had my schedule there. I'm going to be at the Cabot Theater, 2 nights, 7th and the night. Those are both sold out, but I've
we
been
have-
very fortunate. Yeah.
Cabot Theater, the Mayo Performing Arts Center on 615, 623, the Paramount Theater in Huntington.
Yeah, Long
that's a
Island.
Oh,
Great theater.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's where I filmed the show.
Oh, nice.
Carnegie Homestead Music Hall in Munn Hall, PA
Pittsburgh.
in Pittsburgh. And then Buffalo on 9/27.
Michigan.
so this is all the
sorry,
one man
Buffalo.
So
show.
the one
we
man
did
show.
we did these. We did
Yeah.
that Carnegie venue. It was really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. I really love the Paramount. That's a great theater.
Great room.
You guys do that, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's
your neck of the
beautiful.
woods.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Long
This will get better eventually. My schedule.
Yeah.
And I got a few dates with Sam coming up too.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got new material?
Yeah, I got new material.
Woo!
I got
killing it.
I got new at least like 40-ish.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And he's got
impressive.
a new,
I've had
the
some
new
time.
special's amazing. And check out
Great.
his podcast. What's
Yeah.
the name of the podcast?
Podcast is called Number One Dad. So it's all about my dad being a con man, and we haven't spoken in 24 years. So it follows me on a path to hopefully track him down,
Now,
see what he's up to.
When you do a special, Gary, when you guys do a special, does that make people want to come and see you live?
It's a
then?
big commercial
Yeah.
for your
It's
act.
like a trailer to see us on the road. That's the hope. And then, but then you have to write a new. My special's coming out, I can say now, I guess, July 9th on Amazon. So I hope you guys all watch it. New
Yeah.
hour. It's my favorite one I've done in a long time. So I hope you watch it.
Do we have a title?
Yeah, it's called You've Changed.
Ooh.
Love it.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'm proud of it. So I hope you check it out.
Can't wait.
Amazon, July 9th.
You got it. At the end, we'll exchange information because whenever you're in town, you're going to be at the Comedy Store. I always tell Chris that.
Oh, please, yeah.
I always tell
I
Chris
see him there all the
Collins.
time. Yeah.
I said, just send me a thing. You're going to be there. I'm probably busy, but I love to shoot down and just watch because I love it.
Yeah.
I love comedy.
Yeah, we need people like you.
No, I mean I love stand up.
These are Sam's dates here.
Oh
June
yeah.
16th.
I'm out with Bert, and then Atlantic City with Chris Stefano. We're co-headlining.
Oh,
Monster.
Caesars in Atlantic City. Then I got Rochester with Gary's going to be there with me. And
I'll be at AC too with you.
You'll be in AC too. That's true.
Nice.
Hammond, Indiana. That's also with Chrissy D and Nimesh. We're doing some dates. And
Fantastic.
then we got Miami Improv, working back, building an hour. Another casino with Chrissy. Chrissy and I doing a bunch of dates.
Yeah,
We're
he's
both-
going to be there June 13th. He'll be
Yeah,
there.
we're both
Hey.
we're both building back up. So yeah, then we got Baltimore with Gary.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And then Niagara Falls with Chrissy, and then I go to Europe. So London, Belfast, Dublin, Paris, Amsterdam, which is almost, I think Amsterdam's sold out already. So Copenhagen, Oslo, Stockholm, and I might add some more. So we'll see. But
Hell yeah.
Samuel.com/tour.
How do you like being in Europe? Is it same humor? Did they get it?
I've never, he just did a Euro tour. I've never done a full tour. I've only done like London. The only international, we did Ireland together once.
Yep.
But yeah, I haven't done it a ton. So it's new to me.
I will say it's all great, but Amsterdam is a lot of like they wait till you're done with the bit and then they go. So be
Like
prepared.
SeaWorld.
Wow.
Yeah. See,
The guy told me before I showed up there was 2 huge acts. I'm not going to say their names, and they both yelled at the crowd like, "Fuck you guys! You don't get it. This stuff kills." And the guy had to be like, "This is how we do it here."
but I wonder
So
if
be
like
prepared.
I feel like in Europe, jokes just, I mean, I've done it, but like jokes will just work better. Like if you just have, like the way that you guys tell.
They're probably
tell your
kinder.
jokes. Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't have a lot of good joke writers. Nobody wants to say
They're
it.
seeing something different. I mean, you guys bring something different to the table. So I think.
Well, we invented it. It's an American art. Suck it, you limeys.
Bring that American pretension overseas. They'll love that.
Well, you guys invented it.
Do you guys ever work on bits on the podcast?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah, I do that with my podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not comedy. Just when I'm talking to the guests, I'll say, well, this could be. I'm writing something. I wonder. I'll just kind of like go around it to try to get something.
Ah, I love it.
Yeah,
All right.
It's But the great thing about comics, I remember from Chrissy always told me, and all the guys always told me, like the biggest sin you could do is steal jokes.
The worst.
That's the worst. I mean, that's low.
Yeah, because that's all we have.
You're thinking really short game if you're doing that, because you want allies, and not just in comedy, but in the world. You want people to not hate you, and they're gonna hate you.
And you want your voice and perspective.
Yeah,
right. And you think nobody's going to hear it, but they'll find out.
Oh yeah.
It's just a shortcut, and you can't really have shortcuts in this.
Right.
Would you agree that it takes, before you really start making money and being good, 10 years to be a comic?
Yeah, I'd say
Probably.
so. Give or take.
They say 7 to 10.
Probably less now with social media.
Yeah.
But a good
But
comic.
when we started, yeah.
You can get it discovered easier now, maybe with the internet, but I think if you really want to get good.
Yeah, if you want to get good. I think there's something about doing poorly for years that just it puts you at the grind and it gets you better. So I think that gets a little lost now, but I mean the art, I get the art. I think there's an art to getting better. There's an art to getting better.
It is.
Do you feel like you're the best you've ever been as an actor or writer right now?
Yes.
That's cool.
I think it's the best I've ever been, and the best. See, as an actor, it's different. As an actor, and I studied, again, and I always bring him up because he was one of the great teachers, Lee Strasberg himself.
Wow.
I was in the actor's studio. And so what Lee used to say, what happens is, as the years go on, you get, oh, that's a valve. So you get that valve and you put it here.
Right.
Oh, that's another valve. So then as an actor, you have all these valves inside of you that I could turn on at any time. I could go from dead crying to dead fucking angry in 2 seconds.
Really?
Oh, in 2 seconds.
Man.
I could do it. I could look like I love you and then look like I hate you.
I love that.
But it's like an art. You could just do it. Yeah. Now, it doesn't come easy.
Yeah.
And it really helped me to do, when I started doing Bronx Tale, because I had to do all these characters, and I had to split the difference on each one of them. One person playing 5 people. So it was really like, you have to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And it really helped me a great deal. But I think I'm the best. I feel that I'm the best I am. And my great work is in front of me.
That's incredible. All right, well, we'll keep going. And there he is. Look at that Lee.
Yes.
Wow.
Looks like, what's Pablo Picasso?
That's the Godfather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when he said, if I wake up in the morning and the bag is here, I have a partner. If I don't, then I don't have a partner.
What do you think he's doing there? I've seen that a million times. I know he's sick, but he keeps doing this thing. He's like,
he does that, yeah.
What is that?
He just, he just, when you're old, sometimes your throat gets clogged.
Okay, because that's a clear choice he made.
Clear.
He's the teacher of all teachers, and I'm like, I don't get this.
That was a choice.
Because that's happening to Matt right now. He just wants to know if you should get it checked out.
I did a scene with Bob, and in the beginning I used to go, listen to me, huh? I'm going to tell you something right now. If you fucking come here one more time, huh? And he says, Chazz, stop at the ends.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't even realize I was doing it. He goes, it deflates the power of the scene. So I'll never forget that
Good
lesson
note.
you gave me.
Good
so
note.
I use it when I have to use it, if it's one line. But if it's more than that, I won't do that anymore. Huh?
Right.
Huh? Yeah? Huh? It's an Italian thing that they do.
Yeah, yeah.
Are we going to go? Huh? Italians are the only people, Tara Conastraci, who I love her, she's a comic. She always said Italians are the only, I don't want to take a joke because it's a joke. Italian guys are the only ones, they ask you a question, then they answer it. She's right. You love this restaurant. Right? I know you do. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, Colin Quinn.
Yeah, you know that guy. He's a scumbag, right? Yeah, he's a scumbag. and that's Tara's joke, and she said that to me once. I saw her do stand-up.
That's great.
It was hysterical.
I love the one where they're like, am I right or am I right?
Am I right?
You're not giving me
am
any
I
options
right?
here.
Right.
Yeah, Italians are the only ones that do that. You used to have this restaurant called, was it the Half Moon at the time? They would go. I used to bring girls in there back in the '60s, and she would order something, and she would only eat half, and the guy would come back the way to go. Smell, you don't like it? No, it was delicious. No, you didn't like it. Why you bring it here if she doesn't like our food? And I'm like, hey, I'll never forget. His name was Serge. I said, Serge, she said, never mind that. You shouldn't be here if you don't. I said, holy shit, you can't bring anybody here.
A little aggressive.
Yeah.
Quinn has that great joke about Italians are the toughest people, but they're pussies about weird stuff. He's like, hey, what's up, bitch? Whoa, what is that, yogurt?
Wow, that's good.
That's good.
That's so good.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Hey, I don't want to be around these people. If they're, oh my God, everybody's like, oh, fucking Italians are nuts. They're nuts. They're like, Italians are the only fucking people, man, my mother, let me tell you something about my mother. My mother and father, I was with my grandmother. She lived underneath us. This is how Sicilians are. You should know this. Mm-hmm. You should know this. My Sicilians are like this. My grandmother said, she said, honey, go in there, give me some ice cubes. And I opened up the freezer. Back then, you had the ice cubes, you had to pull this thing to get the ice.
I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So I'm about to pull. She goes, no, don't touch that. Son, Grandma, what's the matter? She goes, what? Look. And I looked at all the ice and it had all these pieces of paper sticking out of the cubes. I said, what the fuck is this, right? She goes, put that one back. Take the other one. So I take the other ice cube and the tray and I give it out. So I go upstairs to my mother. Now I'm I'm like 12 years old. I go, hey, Ma, what's with the ice cubes? I've tried. She goes, you didn't touch the ice cubes, did you? I said, no. What's with the ice cubes? Her father, my grandfather, who's Sicilian, when somebody hurt him, he would write their name on a piece of paper and then put it in the liquid. He said once he did that, he froze them for life. They can never get ahead, no more. That means where they are, that's where they stay.
Whoa.
He would froze them. How's that?
Talk about holding a
You
grudge.
want to talk about fucking vendettas? You want to talk about vendettas?
Wow.
This is real shit.
Yeah.
Man.
Now, I couldn't write that.
No, that's gold.
You know, that's gold.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the movie to put that in.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's killer.
But that's the truth, man. He would defrost it, put a new thing of water, put new names in, freeze them.
Man.
Stuck.
Talk about a relationship on the rocks. All right. I'm not going to do that joke in Philadelphia or Pittsburgh. Well, Washington, Spokane, Baton Rouge, Pensacola, Sioux Falls, Cedar Rapids, Rockford, Rochester. Buy some Bodega Cat.
Oh, we're legal now. Bodega Cat whiskey. New York City. So I think we're at the cellar right now.
I believe we
Wow,
are. They
really?
got their own menu. They're making Manhattans with them right now. So, yeah, check it out. Page the Stage, Gary's Pod, Gary's new special. Go see Chazz. He's got a one-man show and a podcast. Sam's got a special coming out on Amazon. We're cooking.
BodegaCatWhiskey.com and follow us all on punchup.live
Yes.
/ our names, punchup.live / Mark Norman, punchup.live / Sam Morrell / Gary Vider. And
Soon.
Nice.
And keep listening. We love you guys. And thank you, Chazz, Gary. This is a great episode.
Great app.
Sunday's the day for my next bender. A bit of Peverek, you know the beer juice close. I've had a little too much bourbon, and Norman's talking shit about the fucking Pope, and I get down in the same way. Up on the roof like the cops coming, and naked Samuel is feeling dangerous. I'm out to lunch here in New Orleans. This woman doesn't look like I remember her, and I